反正他们脑袋都大。对，可以。好，可以。放正嘛，那谁放的不正？
那个是那个部长。
好。
三个指示是对方希腊一带。
那个谁说让那个签名不用找了，他要不用找，老的不用找，不用了。他就是那个部长还没来。
哎，刘司长那个好，还有他那个定格了。
但是他现在咱的声音是不是应该？
Ό,τι θέλει ο Άρης μη σαν ισχύει, είναι πολύ εξοικειωμένος, γνωρίζει πολύ καλά.
I'm here.
Oh, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Mr.
Welcome,
Farage,
Minister.
for the presentation.
1 minute for the video of the Greek tourism. Okay, so I think we better start. So everybody is here. Good morning.
Hello.
Let's start. Mr. Hadzeodosiou. Okay, so good morning in Greece. Good afternoon in China. Welcome to Invest in Greece Online Forum 2020. I'm George Florence from Belt and Road Associates, one of the two hosts of today's forum. To begin with, I would like to inform you that the forum has the possibility of simultaneous interpretation from English to Chinese and from Chinese to English. The second host of today's forum is the China Overseas Development Association, CODA, represented today by the President of CODA, Mr. Hu Weiping, and by the Secretary General of CODA, Mr. Hu Zhenwei. Co-organizer of today's forum is the China Go Abroad platform, represented today by the founder and CEO of China Go Abroad, Mr. Jesse Chan. We start by welcoming our distinguished guests. With us is His Excellency, Minister of Development and Investments of the Hellenic Republic, Mr. Adonis Georgiadis. Honorable Director General of the Department of Foreign Capital and Overseas Investment of the National Development Reform Commission, People's Republic of China, Mr. Liu Xiaonan. Her Excellency, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China in Greece, Mrs. Zhang Qiue. His Excellency, the Ambassador of Greece in China, Mr. Iliopoulos Georgios. Honorable CEO at Enterprise Greece, Mr. Georgios Filiopoulos. Honorable President of the Athens Chamber of Tradesmen, Mr. Ioannis Hadzeodosiou. We welcome all participants in today's forum from Greece and China, and thank you. Our gold sponsor today is V Square Development, #1 development company in Greece since 1962, which we thank very much for the support of the forum. Invest in Greece Online Forum 2020 is under the auspices of Enterprise Greece, the Greek government organization that successfully deals with the promotion of exports and the attraction of foreign investments, and Athens Chamber of Tradesmen, the largest chamber of Greece. We are starting the first part by inviting His Excellency, the Minister of Development and Investments in Greece, Mr. Adonis Georgiadis, to declare the opening of Invest in Greece Forum 2020.
20. 其实可以在办公室有一个 link.
First of all, let me make some introduction comments. Is this my turn?
Yes, Minister, you may start.
First of all, I want to thank you, everybody, for this invitation, Her Excellency. And I want to thank her because in all this crisis, she was always present and made China and Greece friendship even stronger in these very strange times. I have to be very honest that during this COVID-19 crisis, the Greek government decided day one to preserve our very good relationships, to explain to the Greek people that this is a common human disaster and not a responsibility of one particular nation, and try to find ways to control the virus in our country and absorb the impact in our economy in the best way we can. Because of course, this recent crisis, as all crises, can either lead you to a conflict and to a bad situation, either make you stronger and make you find ways to go forward. And this is our choice. We believe that during this crisis, China may be able to see the real friends China has, and sure, Greece is one of them. And from the other side, we want to express publicly once more that we are very happy of Chinese presence in our country. We are very proud that Piraeus port, as it was announced yesterday, became the 25th port globally and the 4th port in the European Union. And of course, this would never have happened if we didn't have this so successful relationship with Costco and this big investment. And we are looking forward to make possible all the recent investment plans that were in process and they were a little bit delayed because of this situation, to make them again go forward and even find new ways and new plans that could make our relationships to be even stronger. I would take to grab this opportunity to express our admire for the way your government handled the crisis of COVID-19. We understand that difficult decisions had to be made, as everybody had, but you managed to control the disease in China fast, and maybe faster than someone else. And now we work all together to find solutions to this new economical and global environment that we are working. So after make these comments, I have to say that you know that our Prime Minister was to come to China because before the crisis for the Belt and Road and 17 and +1 initiative. Now we must find a way to reorganize this kind of visits. We had a very concrete plan about the master plan, Costco's master plan in Piraeus port, that we're still very, very attached and that we want to make it go forward. We were ready to make the opening ceremony in Crete, in the Minoa energy solar plant, that we worked very hard to have the licensing, and me personally. And everything now it's ready and it start working in a pilot way. So we're ready to organize a trip of some of your experts there. And we want to show to the Greek people that all these investments still continue and that life goes back to where it was before of this crisis. This is a message that we want to pass it to the Greek people and to the European community. So we have to make some arrangements to see how we'll make it happen in the months to come. And of course, all the other big investment plans of Chinese companies in AVMM, the other energy plans, in the CPRs in Panama and everything, we're here to continue them as our agreements predict. I remind you that during President Xi Jinping visit in Athens in November, we had signed many of these agreements that we want to follow, and we want to continue working very hard in all these things. So I'm here to express again the official decision of our government that we continue, and we continue even faster and even stronger than before. Our answer to the crisis is not one to blame the other or make things stop, but make our ties stronger. This crisis is a humanitarian global crisis, and we will pass it through all together. And a good relationship will help us pass it through better. And after all this being said, and before the Minister of Tourism take the floor, I want to make a public invitation to tourism from China that could come this year to Athens and to Greece, since our people are still very welcome to the Chinese people. Maybe this would be a very good opportunity for Chinese people to choose to come for their vacations this summer to Greece. You would be very, very welcome, and you would feel the warmth of Greek hospitality in a very unique way, even this difficult year. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Minister of Development and Investment of Greece, Mr. Adonis Georgiadis. We continue by calling the Honorable Director General of the Department of Foreign Capital and Overseas Investment of National Development and Reform Commission, People's Republic of China, Mr. Liu Xiaonan, to take the floor.
好，谢谢。尊敬的乔治亚基斯部长、张启岳大使、乔治大使，各位企业和金融机构的朋友们，大家好。很遗憾呢，由于疫情的原因，今年初没有随我们委里应记者副主任呢赴希腊与部长阁下会面。这个刚才听了这个部长的关于中西这个关系，包括经贸合作，包括对疫情方面的这个一番讲话，我们非常感谢，也表示赞同。对下一步的一些工作建议，我们也完全赞同。这个中方呢，首先祝贺希腊在应对新冠疫情方面所取得的积极成果。这个疫情是没有国界，是人类共同的敌人，需要我们国际社会的共同的团结应对。中方始终秉持人类命运共同体理念，既要全面保障中国人民的健康安全，也要为全球公共卫生安全事业做出贡献。与此同时中国政府及时出台了一系列的措施，鼓励和支持企业有序的复工复产，统筹推进疫情防控和经济社会发展，已经取得了积极的成效。中国经济表现出坚强韧性和巨大潜能，我们有信心有能力维持经济社会平稳发展，也将继续在做好疫情防控工作的同时，推进与包括希腊在内的各国继续开展务实合作。相知无远近，万里可为邻。中西建交以来，两个文明古国秉承相互尊重、平等互利的原则，发展双边关系，相互理解、相互支持、相互帮助，中西传统友谊历久弥新。中国高度重视与希腊合作，视希腊为在欧盟的好朋友、好伙伴。特别是去年11月份，习近平主席对希腊成功进行访问，使两个古老国家合作迸发出新的活力。2017年5月份，首届“一带一路”国际合作高峰论坛期间，中国国家发展改革委与希腊发展投资部签署了两国重点领域3年合作计划，设立了指导委员会合作机制，至今已召开3次会议。尤其是去年10月份，部长阁下成功的访问中国，与应记者主任召开了这个指导委员会的第3次会议。这之后呢，双方的企业表现出强烈的合作意愿，两国重点合作领域都取得了显著的进展，展现出巨大的潜力。比如这个中远海运运营的比雷埃夫斯港，这个年吞吐量已经从2010年的88万标准箱增加到2019年的580万标准箱，世界排名从第93位跃升到第32位，综合指标重回世界10大航运枢纽之内，直接和间接创造的工作岗位13000个，成为两国合作的良好范例。还有中国国际电网投资希腊国家电网公司也产生了积极的经济和社会影响。 现在我们看到的越来越多的中国企业，正在跟踪参与希腊各领域的合作项目，相关的磋商，正在有条不紊的进行。我们还很高兴的看到，中西3年合作计划呢已经取得了一批早期的收获。我们也希望双方以此次论坛为契机，继续的加强信息共享和沟通交流，推动重点领域合作，取得更多实质性的进展。利用这次机会呢，我愿就中西重点领域合作提出3点意见。一是以重点项目清单为抓手，推动双方务实合作。在新一轮的3年合作计划中，双方同意将交通、能源、通信、信息通信、制造业和研发，还有金融这5个领域作为扩大和深化两国合作的重点领域。去年11月份，习近平主席访问希腊的时候，2国元首见证了第3轮重点项目清单的签署，为2国重点项目务实合作注入了强劲的动力。重点项目清单包括中方正在推进的7个项目和西方建议中方关注的8个项目。多个中方企业对西方提出的新项目是很感兴趣，正在与西方的合作伙伴积极的对接。我们希望能够在积极落实现有重点项目的过程中，西方能够继续的提供积极的支持，并欢迎提出更多具体可行的项目合作的建议。国家发展改革委将指导有关中国企业积极的予以研究。二是更好发挥金融机构保驾护航的作用。中国银行和中国工商银行在希腊的分支机构相继设立，中国国家开发银行和进出口银行通过希腊工作组也在为具体项目合作提供有效的融资支持。我们鼓励双方的金融机构想实招出实策，为项目合作提供支持，促进项目尽快的落地。3是进一步发挥中欧陆海快线的重要作用。中欧陆海快线始于中国沿海港口群，通过苏伊士运河和地中海抵达比港，再通过希腊、马其顿、塞尔维亚、匈牙利的铁路运输，最终达到欧洲的核心地区。通过中国的陆海快线，中国的货物运输至欧洲腹地时间现在大概就是26天左右，这个比过去传统的海运大大的缩短了7到11天。那么经过这几年中远海运和包括希腊在内沿线国家的积极努力，中欧陆海快线不断取得新的重要的进展，已日益成为连接中国与欧洲货物运输新的通道。面对这次新冠疫情，中远海运积极采取创新服务举措。1到4月份，快线完成的运输量是已经3.5万标箱，运量同比增长 52%， 列车开行604列，同比增长 53%， 推动快线在保障中欧贸易物流供应链稳定方面发挥了积极的作用。中方愿与希腊等相关沿线国家一道，加快沿线基础设施的升级改造，提高通关便利化水平，降低通关成本。在此过程中，欢迎双方的企业积极的参与，希望中国企业加强对快线的支持，充分发挥快线对中欧贸易运输的重要的支撑作用。部长阁下、大使阁下、各位同事，中西的成功合作经验充分的证明，一带一路倡议与希腊发展战略相向而行，发展潜力巨大，战略对接已经取得明显成效。在希腊开展业务的主要中国企业和金融机构今天也参加在线论坛，对在希腊发展有着浓厚的兴趣、强烈的意愿，也发挥着重要的作用。今天采取这种线上论坛，这是一种很好的这种形式，也是一种创新。未来双方 应该可以就5个领域的重点项目加强信息和政策交流。双方可以继续考虑通过这种线上线下的研讨会还有推介会等各种形式，来对重点项目进行宣传介绍，并推动投资便利化，为企业间合作创造便利的条件。按照双方的约定，中西重点领域2020到2022年的合作计划第4次会议将在希腊举办。我们这个期待疫情过后能够在雅典和部长阁下、2位大使阁下和各位企业家朋友能够见面，届时能够通过这个商杯的合作能够取得更多的务实的成效。这个今天这个我是就任这个麦兹斯市长以后，这个第一次这个在这样一个形势下跟各位朋友见面，也非常高兴。今后我们还有更多的机会共同来做好工作谢谢大家。
Thank you very much, Honorable Mr. Liu Xiaonan, Director General of the Department of Foreign Capital and Overseas Investment of the NDRC. Mr. Hadjitheodosiou is here. I would like to ask for Her Excellency, the Ambassador of China, to excuse me, but the President, as you see today, we are here at the chamber of the Athens Chamber of Tradesmen. We are hosted by the chamber, and the President, Mr. Hadjitheodosiou, has an urgent matter, so he has to speak now and not 5th. So please, Ambassador, excuse me for the change. So I would like to ask Mr. Ioannis Hadjitheodosiou, the President of the Athens Chamber of Tradesmen, to take the floor. Mr. President's speech will be in Greek, but you can listen to the interpretation in Chinese. So, Mr. Hadjitheodosiou.
Αγαπητέ Υπουργέ Ανάπτυξης και Επενδύσεων, κύριε Γεωργιάδη, αξιότιμε κύριε Liu Xiaonan, Γενική Διευθυντή στο Τμήμα Νέων Κεφαλαίων και Επενδύσεων στην Καταναπή της NDRC, αξιότιμε κύριε Πρέσβη, κυρία Ζανγκ, αξιότιμε κύριε Πρέσβη της Ελλάδος στην Κίνα, κύριε Ηλιόπουλε, κυρίες και κύριοι, αποτελεί ιδιαίτερη χαρά και ξεχωριστή τιμή για το Επαγγελματικό Επιμελητήριο Αθηνών η συμμετοχή μου σε μια τόσο ξεχωριστή εκδήλωση. Και χαίρομαι ιδιαίτερα που μεταξύ των συμμετεχόντων είναι ο Υπουργός μας, ο Υπουργός Ανάπτυξης και Επενδύσεων Άδωνης Γεωργιάδης, με τον οποίο όχι μόνο συνεργαζόμαστε εξαιρετικά για τη στήριξη της επιχειρηματικότητας στην Ελλάδα, αλλά ξέρω καλά το πόσο πολύ εργάζεται για την προσέλκυση επενδύσεων στην ελληνική οικονομία. Και η κινέζικη πλευρά αποτελεί μια εξαιρετικά ενδιαφέρουσα περίπτωση υποψηφίων επενδυτών. Γι' αυτό και το Επαγγελματικό Επιμελητήριο Αθήνας, το μεγαλύτερο επιμελητήριο στην Ελλάδα με περισσότερο από 150.000 ενεργά μέλη, έχει εργαστεί συστηματικά για να αναδείξει τις επενδυτικές προοπτικές της χώρας, αλλά και τις ευκαιρίες που υπάρχουν για τις ελληνικές επιχειρήσεις μέσω πιθανών συνεργασιών με αντίστοιχες κινέζικες. Θα ξεκινήσω όμως την τοποθέτησή μου αναφέροντας τους ιδιαίτερους δεσμούς που έχει χτίσει τα τελευταία χρόνια το Επαγγελματικό Επιμελητήριο Αθήνας με την Κίνα. Καταρχήν, είμαστε το επιμελητήριο με σχεδόν 1.000 κινέζικες επιχειρήσεις μέλη μας. Νομίζω ότι τα μέλη της κινέζικης επιχειρηματικής παροικίας είναι και μέλη στο δικό μας επιμελητήριο. Η ιδιαίτερη σχέση μας όμως με την Κίνα μετράει ήδη κάποια χρόνια. Είναι χαρακτηριστικό ότι το Επαγγελματικό Επιμελητήριο της Αθήνας ξεκίνησε τη δράση του για εξωστρέφεια το 2016 με τη συνεργασία με τον κολοσσό της Alibaba. Ήταν η χρονιά που διοργανώσαμε με τον γίγοντα του ηλεκτρονικού εμπορίου τη μεγαλύτερη εκδήλωση Alibaba που έχει γίνει μέχρι τώρα στη χώρα μας, με πάνω από 650 επιχειρήσεις να παρακολουθούν επί 6 ώρες τα στελέχη της Alibaba να αναλύουν τις δυνατότητες συνεργασίας. Διοργανώσαμε τη συνάντηση τότε του Πρωθυπουργού Αλέξη Τσίπρα με τον ιδρυτή της Alibaba, τον Τζακ Μα, τον Ιούλιο του 2016 στη Σαγκάη. Επισκεφτήκαμε την Κίνα επανειλημμένα και προωθήσαμε τις ελληνικές επιχειρηματικές σχέσεις. Το 2019 είχαμε τη μεγάλη τιμή να γίνουμε στα Τύρανα ο εκπρόσωπος της Ελλάδας στην πρωτοβουλία της κυβέρνησης της Κίνας για τα επιμελητήρια 17+1, δηλαδή την πρωτοβουλία που περιλαμβάνει επιμελητήρια από 17 χώρες της Κεντρικής και Ανατολικής Ευρώπης. Μια πρωτοβουλία συνοδότης αντίστοιχη σε επίπεδο αρχηγών κρατών. Και πολύ πρόσφατα είχαμε τη μεγάλη τιμή να βραβευτούμε στην Κίνα κατά τη διάρκεια του συνεδρίου για τα διεθνή επιμελητήρια και ενώσεις που οργανώνει η εφημερίδα του Κομμουνιστικού Κόμματος της χώρας. Βραβευτήκαμε για τη συνεισφορά μας στην ανάπτυξη των διμερών σχέσεων και την προώθηση του δρόμου του μεταξιού. Βλέπετε λοιπόν ότι έχουμε αναπτύξει έντονη δραστηριότητα με την κινέζικη πλευρά και αυτή μας η επιλογή δεν είναι τυχαία. Γνωρίζουμε πολύ καλά ότι οι δύο λαοί έχουν ιστορικούς δεσμούς που τους συνδέουν και πόσο έχουν προσφέρει στον πολιτισμό. Η Κίνα στην Ανατολή, η Ελλάδα στη Δύση. Έχουμε ιστορία χιλιάδων ετών και υπάρχει τεράστιος σεβασμός ανάμεσα στους λαούς των δύο χωρών. Εκτός όμως από το παρελθόν που μας συνδέει, μπορούμε να δημιουργήσουμε και ένα λαμπρό μέλλον με αμοιβαίες επωφελείς συμφωνίες. Αυτή τη στιγμή η χώρα μπορεί να υποδεχτεί πολλές κινέζικες επενδύσεις και το επιμελητήριο θα στηρίξει κάθε σχετική ενέργεια. Αντίστοιχα, η Κίνα, αυτή η τεράστια αγορά, μπορεί να υποδεχτεί πολλές εισαγωγές από την Ελλάδα. Τα ελληνικά προϊόντα όμως χρειάζεται η αναγκαία παρέμβαση της κυβέρνησης της Κίνας για να φτάσουν τα προϊόντα στον Κινέζο καταναλωτή. Και είναι κάτι για το οποίο αξίζει να προσπαθήσουμε όλοι μαζί. Επίσης, είναι εφικτό να υπάρχουν πολλές διμερείς συμφωνίες σε διάφορους τομείς, όπως τον τουρισμό, και έχουμε κάνει μια τεράστια προσπάθεια σαν επαγγελματικό επιμελητήριο γι' αυτό μέσω της συνεργασίας με την Alibaba, την ενέργεια, την υψηλή τεχνολογία, αλλά και τη βιομηχανία. Σε κάθε περίπτωση υπάρχει πρόσφορο έδαφος για την win-win επιχειρηματικές συνέργειες που θα βοηθήσουν και την κινέζικη επιχειρηματικότητα να μπει ακόμα πιο δυνατά στην Ευρώπη μέσω της ελληνικής πύλης εισόδου, αλλά και τις ελληνικές επιχειρήσεις να συνάψουν συμφωνίες που θα δίνουν προοπτικές ανάπτυξης και στις ίδιες και κατ' επέκταση στην ελληνική οικονομία. Αυτό αποτελεί το πρώτο μέλημά μας ως επιμελητήριο και εύχομαι να δούμε γρήγορα τέτοιες προσπάθειες προς όφελος και της Ελλάδας και της Κίνας. Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Ευχαριστώ και τον φίλο μου τον Γιώργο τον Φλωρά και εύχομαι κάθε επιτυχία στη σημερινή εκδήλωση.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ioannis Hadjitheodosiou, President of the Athens Chamber of Tradesmen, the biggest chamber in Greece. We continue now by calling Her Excellency, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China in Greece, Mrs. Zhang Qiwei, to take the floor. Your
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Thank you very much. And distinguished Minister Georgiadis, my great friend, and distinguished Ambassador Iliopoulos, my dear colleague, and distinguished Director General Mr. Liu Xiaonan, Sidang, and distinguished members of the business community and friends. Kalimera, 大家好，非常高兴的在这里见到大家。It is really a great pleasure to attend today's online discussion and forum and to discuss in this new era, how are we going to further promote our bilateral relationship, especially in the field of trade, economic, and investment. Even though that we cannot have a face-to-face meeting, but I think this online technology and platform gives us the opportunity to meet and communicate wherever we are. The advantage is that we don't have to worry about physical distance, and we don't have to worry about the difference in time. We can meet from anywhere at any time. So today, we know that we have friends, business leaders from different places in China who are attending today's forum. And also we have many business people and friends from all over Europe. I know that people from Brussels, Luxembourg, UK, Germany, Spain, and many other countries are here with us. And so I am very pleased to attend this event. Minister, I'm very much encouraged with what you have said. I think I agree with you that after this epidemic or pandemic, I think our relationship is stronger, and we will do more together to bring a better result and also benefit our two peoples. Actually, the organization of this event and the very positive response from both sides shows the importance that not only our government attached to this relationship, also there is very strong desire on both sides from the business community, from the two peoples, to forge strong ties and cooperation. So we are very much encouraged by this. This outbreak of COVID-19 virus has really impacted the international economic and social environment. And it is happening in an unprecedented manner. And this is not only a test to national governance, but also I think it has prompted very serious thinking on global governance. But I think, as far as combating this virus is concerned, I think we are very proud to say that for both of us, Greece, we have dealt this quite well, and we have actually effectively put under control the epidemic within the shortest period of time as possible. And we have now resumed to the phase of production and business as usual. And so by taking very effective and scientific and also prompt measures, we are able to contribute to the world combat of this pandemic, and also contributing to world cooperation and development. Today, I think everyone is very much concerned with the international economy. I think the economy as a whole, the world economy that we face today, is rather gloomy and very disquieting. It is predicted by international organizations that the global growth will decline by 3.8% this year, But I think the good news, and I wanted to assure you, that China is expected to register positive growth. And I think this is good news, not only for China, but also for the world. I think we are quite confident that we will overcome the effects of the pandemic and achieve positive growth. For this year, actually, we are faced with very important issues. We have very, very important issues on the agenda. That is to say that we are trying to achieve the goal of building a moderately prosperous society in all aspects and eradicate extreme, or we call it absolute poverty, by the end of this year. This is a very courageous goal, and my government, our people are quite confident that we will be able to achieve this by the end of the year, despite of the COVID-19. And this is, I think, the biggest contribution to the world. And in doing so, we are committed even more than before to opening up to the world, to international cooperation with all countries. But how can we be so confident about this? Let me explain a few points. We don't have so much time. I can only say a few things, but let me give you a few reasons for showing that we are quite confident that we will attain these goals, and China will remain a strong engine of global economic development in the coming years. First, I would like to say that the fundamentals of China's economy are still sound and remain unchanged despite of the pandemic. After more than 40 years of reform and opening up, China now has the most complete industrial system. China has a strong production capability and industry supporting capacity, and has a huge market, domestic market. So this year, actually, in the China's economy contracted in the first quarter of this year due to the impact of the epidemic. However, it soon recovered in April. So we already have seen the statistics and data for the month of April, or the first quarter. Actually, we see that things are returning to normal. The benchmark industrial enterprises have increased their added value by 3.9% in the month of April. And also the manufacturing industry grew by 5%. So this is already very good news for the month of April. The second point I wanted to make is that China is actually witnessing rapid growth in the new industrialization, IT, urbanization, and agricultural modernization, and its economic vitality and momentum will not be weakened by this temporary difficulty. During this epidemic, of course, when traditional industries encountered a strong headwind, new industries and new business supported by digital technologies have really thrived, such as online consumption, big data, artificial intelligence, and so on. So there are many, many opportunities provided by digitalization. They are forming the new engines of development. For example, in China today, these are really prospering. New phenomenons like cloud business, big data bill sharing, live streaming sales promotion, and production line through IoT. So what I'm trying to say is that even though we are facing very serious difficulties, but I think there are new opportunities that we must realize. And also we are still in the process of restructuring of the economy. We're hoping that this pandemic will be a new stimulus for restructuring of the economy, so that we will achieve will implement along the path of innovative, coordinated, green, open, and shared development. The third point I wanted to make is that the government has taken a series of very strong measures to keep the vitality of the economy. So according to this year's annual report on the work of the government that was adopted at the two sessions of China's legislature, we are adopting a more proactive fiscal policy and a more flexible and appropriate monetary policy. And we will try everything possible to energize market players and boost new drivers of growth. So the government is taking various measures to energize the economy. So I wanted also to say that it is important that, with the restructuring, we are promoting even more domestic consumption. So that the domestic consumption will grow immensely, especially with the eradication of poverty in China. So I'm sure that you all are aware that China is a huge market. We are a country of 1.4 billion people, consisting of more than 100 million market entities. Our market entities or businesses, we have 100 million. And among this 1.4 billion people, we have about 170 million people with higher education or professional skills. And now we have more than 400 million people of middle income. So about 400 million people in the middle income category. So really, I think the expansion, the growth of the Chinese market is really good news to the world. I just wanted to give you some figures that for the first quarter of this year, even though we are all undergoing very difficult times, but the export of Greece to China increased by 30%. By 30% growth, the products that went to China. As you probably have read in the news that starting from this month, the Greek saffron is actually going to China. So the farmers said that this has been a dream for the Greek farmers for years. And finally, that with the efforts made by both of our governments and the government agencies, that the saffron is now going to China, opening the Chinese market. So I don't think the farmers will have anything to worry once you have such a big market. And another example I wanted to give to you that the EU as a whole, in the first quarter, actually, its pork exported to China broke a new historical record, the pork exported to China. And so actually, out of all the pork, the pig meat go into China, go into the world, actually, 54% went to China. 54% of the pork in Europe went to China. So this was an increase of 76% in the first quarter of this year. So what I'm trying to say that even though that we are going through difficulties, but there are still some very good news. So over the past decades, actually, China's development has been achieved by integrating itself into the rest of the world. So China has now become deeply intertwined with the world economy. China firmly believes that international cooperation is the key to sustainable development. And this is not only what we believe, and this is exactly what we have been doing for the past years. 8 years ago, President Xi Jinping put forward the Belt and Road Initiative, which is now becoming international public good that promotes deepened cooperation and common development among countries. So since the beginning of this year, actually, the Belt and Road Initiative or projects have continued to make new progress. So this again, in the period of this challenge, this has highlighted the value, the resilience, and the vitality of this BNR initiative. So actually, in the first quarter of this year, China's foreign trade with the BRI partners increased by 3.2% year on year. And the non-financial direct investment by Chinese businesses in the Belt and Road countries increased by 13%. The latest number is 13%. I firmly believe that the post-pandemic era, the Belt and Road Initiative will provide an even broader opportunity for countries to deepen cooperation. So I wanted to say that in this aspect, as Mr. Liu has mentioned, and also the minister also mentioned, that we're so happy to see that the Piraeus port is playing an even more important role, as now it is already the 25th port in the world, among the world ports, and is number 4 in Europe, number 1 in Mediterranean. So we're very, very happy for Greece. So China and Greece are really important BRI partners. Greece is the first developed country in Europe to sign an MOU with China on the Belt and Road construction. Greece also became a member of the 17+1 since last year. It became a full member. President Xi Jinping last November paid a successful state visit to Greece, ushering in a new era for our bilateral relationship. In taking up the challenge of the epidemic, our governments have supported each other and worked together. So I cannot agree more with Minister Georgiadis when he said that we have shown solidarity to each other. We have given each other great help during this crisis and in other crises. And think this has really further deepened our friendship, consolidated our comprehensive strategic partnership, and laid a more solid foundation for the two countries to further our ties in the coming months and years. I would like to stress one point, however. I think that the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us something very clearly. It is during all these past months, it made very clear to us once again that we live in the same global village. Our fate is shared. And I think we have to really work together, especially in this age of interdependence and transnational crisis. I think it is so important to deepen international cooperation. I think what we need today is not to detach from each other, or someone like to call it decoupling. I think this is not the time to separate from each other, but to firmly tighten the bonds of cooperation and seize the new opportunities so as to turn the great potentiality of each of us into reality and to harvest more fruits from the cooperation. Lastly, but I think it's a very important point that I wanted to make, is that it is such a happy coincidence that actually tomorrow, 5th of June, marks the 48th anniversary of diplomatic relations between our two countries. And our relations for the past 48 years, has been characterized by mutual respect, mutual assistance, cooperation, and partnership. And we are very happy about this relationship. It is so important, but I think it's more important not just to celebrate or to commemorate this anniversary, to work on how to further develop this relationship. So actually, when we look back at the relationship and have a review what is going on today, I am very much confident and truly believe that in this new era, our bilateral relationship will come into full bloom and bring about much benefit to both of our countries and our great peoples, because this is really
I think there is a problem with the connection of the ambassador. Μόνο σε μένα κόλλησε.
Όχι, κόλλησε λίγο.
Κόλλησε. So, okay. Mr. Minister, Her Excellency was about to finish. Okay, so τώρα κόλλησε και του Υπουργού. Your Excellency, we lost you. I don't know if you wanted to complete your greeting today. We cannot hear you. You have to open the audio. Your Excellency.
I'm here. I had some problem, but I fixed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so I don't know. You lost me from where?
Oh, at the end. You were at the end.
One last paragraph. So I say one last thing. My last point. I just wanted to say that it's such a happy coincidence that tomorrow, 5th of June, is actually the 48th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between our two countries. I think we are very happy that we have had such a fruitful relationship, and our relationship has been characterized by mutual respect, mutual assistance, cooperation, and partnership. So in this new era, I am very much convinced, and I truly believe that we will see this relationship further develop, and it will come into full bloom. And because this is a relationship that is conducive to both sides, it's a win-win relationship, and it will bring much benefit to our two peoples. Thank you. 谢谢.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mrs. Zhang Qiwei, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China in Greece. Mr. Minister, we know that you have another ministerial appointment at 10 o'clock meeting. So, Minister Adonis Georgiadis, whenever you want, you may go.
I have to meet the Prime Minister because we organized our first official trip abroad. It will be in Israel. So we want to be very well prepared for our trip there. This is the reason I have to leave in 5 minutes. But I wanted to say once more, it was a great honor for me having you here. We will release a press release from our ministry about this meeting we had, because we want to make publicly well known that we continue, and that we continue by building extremely strong relationship with China as we had before. And I'm telling you again, Your Excellency, and thank you for all the nice words you said about the Greek people and the Greek government and what we did all this recent period, that we want to use this period to make our relationships even better than they were before. And you remember that when the crisis started, me personally expressed all these things publicly and in the TV and in the newspapers and everywhere, because I wanted to send a clear signal to our people.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And now we continue with the presentation of the video of the greeting of His Excellency, the Ambassador of Greece in China, Mr. Iliopoulos Georgios. Unfortunately, he was not able to connect live today, so we're going to see a 3 minutes video. George, could you please?
Dear friends, in recent years, relations between Greece and China have entered a new era, based on mutual trust and respect. However, there is still great room for deepening bilateral economic cooperation and boosting investment flows in both directions. Our participation in the BRI and the 17+1 initiative have paved the way for more business opportunities that will benefit both our peoples. The Greek economy is entering a new phase. Despite the financial crisis and the setback caused by the coronavirus pandemic, Greece's economy is moving to the path of recovery, adjusting to new global realities, becoming more competitive, and creating a very friendly environment for investments. Today's forum will give the opportunity to our Chinese friends to get acquainted with the developments in our economy and explore potential sectors for investments. I'm sure that you are all familiar with COSCO's investment in the port of Piraeus, a success story that has surpassed our expectations and still possesses tremendous potential. The port of Piraeus handled a total of 5.65 million TEUs in 2019, becoming the top port of the Mediterranean and one of the 10 largest shipping hubs globally. With the implementation of the new master plan, we anticipate the port of Piraeus to become the top port of Europe and serve as the main gate for Chinese products to European markets. Today, however, I would like to speak about investment opportunities in another significant sector of our economy, which is very promising for the years to come: energy. The main priority of our energy policy is to find, secure, and manage energy resources in a way that ensures the safe, smooth, and reliable coverage of the country's energy needs. We have a very ambitious and realistic plan for drastically reducing the lignite's share in electricity production and tackle long-term environmental issues, meeting well in advance the EU and Paris Agreement benchmarks. The energy program of our government calls for a share of renewable energy sources of at least 35% of the total energy consumption in the years to come. Solar, wind, and hydropower are the most suitable renewable energy sources to capitalize on. In Greece, there are places with more than 300 sunny days a year, while strong winds blow in the Aegean Sea and many parts of the mainland. We must do whatever is possible to tap the potential of these two resources, producing clean, cheap energy for both domestic and foreign markets. In fact, you may be aware that the second biggest Chinese investment in Greece is the acquisition of a 24% stake in Greece's independent power transmission operator, ADNIE, by China's State Grid. This investment of State Grid is worth 320 million. It is not by chance that energy is one of the 5 sectors of common interest identified in our 2020-2022 cooperation plan, implemented under the supervision of Minister Georgiadis and Commissioner Ning. In this recently updated plan, Greece and China have committed in promoting cooperation in 9 energy projects, mainly in the renewable energy sources sector, and a number of Chinese companies are already involved in this area. There is quite an important and successful track record in our energy cooperation, and the new energy policy of our government guarantees an important volume of additional investment opportunities. Greece, as a member of the EU, attaches great importance to energy cooperation. In this respect, we need to work together to accomplish our shared goals in the field of energy, achieving energy security, sustainability, and environmental protection. Today, during this period of global economic crisis, following the coronavirus pandemic, we need to join forces and, based on well-defined common level playing field rules, reciprocity, fair competition, and market openness, work together to achieve mutually beneficial development. I'm confident that Greece can work in the future even closer with China, an important engine of global growth in many different sectors, including trade, investment, and of course, energy in particular. I would like, in closing, to warmly congratulate the organizers of this important forum and wish it a great success. Thank you.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, the Ambassador Georgios Iliopoulos, the Ambassador of Greece in China. And now the final speaker for this part is the CEO of Enterprise Greece, Mr. George Filiopoulos. Enterprise Greece has under their auspices today's forum, and we thank you very much. Mr. Filiopoulos.
Thank you, Mr. Floras, and Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very glad to participate today in this major online economic and business cooperation forum, focusing on two prime and influential sectors of the Greek economy, energy and infrastructure. This first online forum, co-organized by China Overseas Investment Association, Belt and Road Associates, and China Go Abroad, draws together a diverse entrepreneurial audience from both countries, to whom I would like to extend a very warm welcome. Now I would like to briefly introduce the organization I'm leading. Enterprise Greece is the national investment and export promotion agency of the Greek state, supervised by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our newly revamped agency is designed to assist foreign investors and enterprises do business with Greece, to attract foreign investment, and to troubleshoot issues related to investment projects. In addition, we help Greek businesses reach new markets, find new business partners, and become more competitive internationally. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last decade, and despite the adverse effects of the economic crisis, bilateral business cooperation and investments between China and Greece has been continuous. Several major deals illustrate this. Amongst them, Costco at Piraeus Port, the acquisition of 24% of the share capital of Admie by the State Greek Corporation of China, and Senhua Group's agreement with Copelouzos Group for investing in the development of new RES projects. I feel confident to say that within the coming years, we will see many new deals announced, as it is well realized within both business communities that a strategic relationship has been forged between our countries, and the ground for enhanced bilateral cooperation and new business development is continuously expanding. Ladies and gentlemen, our organization has been successfully supporting Chinese companies with their expansion plans in Greece for more than 10 years. I'm confident that today's forum will facilitate the elevation of more topics and projects for discussion and further development between our respective countries. I invite you all to visit our website, explore the investment opportunities presented there, and try our services. Greece has been bouncing back, and this is your opportunity to be part of this success story. Concluding, I would like to thank our organizers for this event and all of you for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George Filiopoulos, CEO of Enterprise Greece. Thank you for your valuable support. So Let me remind you that the forum also has the support of, if we can see the supporters card, of China Overseas Investment Fair. Those are the media sponsors. You can see them. Thank you very much for your support. Can you change the card? Okay. The supporters is China Overseas Investment Fair, the Belt and Road Global Chambers of Commerce and Association Conference, and China Council for the Promotion of International Trade Commercial Sub-Council. Now we go to the second part of the forum. Before we start, before we give the floor to the first speaker, who's going to be Mr. Nikos Thamou, we're going to present the corporate video of our valuable gold sponsor, V-Squared, the #1 development company in Greece. Mr. Kteniadis will be with us later to present the residence permit program that also Enterprise Greece is running in Greece. So please, let's see the video, and Mr. Thamou, you are next.
V-Squared is the #1 development company in Greece, with a portfolio of over 7,000 clients. The people of V-Squared Development are the most important resource for the company's service commitment to its clients. Experienced, they all work under the guidance and direct supervision of the owner, Mr. Vangelis Kteniadis.
I'm Vangelis Kteniadis, Managing Director and owner of V-Squared. In 1962, my father founded Ergon Development, which defined Greek real estate. We pledge to provide the finest personal services to our investors and simultaneously assist them to achieve the highest return on their investments. Today, our impeccable service and immense knowledge of the Greek market confirm the undisputable fact that V-Squared is the #1 development company in Greece.
V-Squared Development is synonymous to the highest quality and development, providing high return on investments while stating integrity and commitment to excellence. V-Squared Development is constantly evolving and investing in emerging markets all over the world. Since May 2013, V-Squared Development is an active promoter of the investor's permanent residency permit. A pioneering immigration investment law which entitles permanent residency in Greece through the purchase of real estate property of over 250,000 euros. This is V-Squared, the #1 development company in Greece.
Thank you very much. Mr. Filiopoulos, you are very well aware of Golden Visa program. Mr. Kteniadis later will make a short presentation of that, but maybe you can tell everybody that Chinese are the #1 by far holders of this Golden Visa program.
Mr. Floras, this is true. As you mentioned, residents of China have been the #1 investors via the Golden Visa program by far. And I think that Mr. Kteniadis will tell us more from a business perspective, of this program. And we have cooperated together with Mr. Kteniadis and as well as with other Greek promoters of Golden Visa services. And we hope that this will be the case for the future as well, that this cooperation between Greece and China on the Golden Visa promotion will keep being as fruitful as it has been the past few years.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Nikos Stamou. He is Officer in Investment Promotion and Support Directorate of Enterprise Greece. He will present the current and future situation of the Greek economy. Mr. Stamou.
Good morning, Mr. Floras. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome all our online participants today at Invest in Greece online forum. It is an honor and privilege for me to be here joining you today. I would like to thank the co-organizers, Belt and Road Associates, CODA, and China Go Abroad for their invitation. I will revert to my presentation now. And we're ready to begin, I believe. In my presentation, I will be presenting the investment environment and the prospects of the Greek economy. The agenda of my presentation today will cover a snapshot and prospects of the Greek economy and the investment environment. I will continue with presenting the national investment value proposition, then provide a review of the foreign direct investment activity over the last few years, and finally conclude with an introduction to Enterprise Greece and our services for investors. After a severe economic crisis, Greece showed early signs of economic recovery from 2017. During the last 2 years, economic growth became stronger and was recorded at 1.9% for the last couple of years, with signs of improvement in other macroeconomic fundamentals like unemployment declining over the last few years. At the same time, we have seen an increase in exports over the last 10 years and also an increase in foreign direct investment. The prospects for 2020 up till very early 2020 suggested that the growth increase will be at the level of between 2.1 and 2.2 for the current year. However, as we all know, we had a game changer, a considerable game changer, the advent of COVID. The impact, as we all know, has been severe and affected the global economies in an unprecedented manner, as it has been already mentioned. Currently, the estimates for GDP show a recession for the current year that is expected to range between 4.7 up to 10% almost by some of the major international institutions. However, what is important to know is that from 2021 onwards, the forecasts improve a lot as the economy is expected to rebound, and the current available similar forecasts suggest an economic growth that will range between 5.1 up to 7.9 according to the same institutions. We mentioned about COVID several times today, and I think will probably be mentioned again. I would like to give you an overview of our perspective and experience relative to handling the matter and how it has impacted the economy and the policies that were being taken. As we know, Greece took early drastic action going into full lockdown on March 16, 2020, only 13 days after the first domestic COVID incident was confirmed. Shortly afterwards, tax, financing, labor, and rent relief measures for enterprises where personal businesses, employees were deployed and modified continuously according to vulnerability as it was assessed by the competent authorities. Advances were also made in digital governance and remote working, which were prompted by the lockdown situation, which had a profound impact on labor productivity and also accordingly to the labor market, making it more flexible and efficient given the situation. In terms of support packages, the government initiated a 6.8 billion support package for the first 2 months, March and April. And then later on, in early May, another package, support package of 24 billion was adopted that would address to mitigate the consequences of the pandemic in the economy. Recently, the information from the European Union suggests that the EU, there will be an EU total support package for European economies, and the amount that's being discussed for Greece is earmarked at about 32 billion. So combined, the national and the EU support packages suggest that it will be a total amount in excess of 60 billion euros for the support of the national economy, and in that sense would be diverted to also new investments in Greece. What is important to know in that perspective, in the EU perspective, is that the planning and early discussions so far suggest that the infrastructure and green economy sectors will be participating in this support package. Greece has also been named one of the best performers in the world for the fact that it has achieved one of the lowest spread ratios of the virus for every 100,000 inhabitants. Another point to be included in our discussion today is that tourism sector obviously has been damaged by the COVID effects in the economy. However, from June 15, Greece will allow the entrance without quarantine of incoming tourists from 29 countries, China included. I think it has been mentioned earlier as well, which this allowance is based on epidemiological data, while remaining restrictions are expected to be lifted by July 15. The praise that Greece received internationally for its outstanding crisis management against the pandemic is evident in many international press releases, relevant videos and documentaries that we can sample in this page. Now, another important aspect that we have seen over the previous year is that investor confidence returns in Greece. Two major facts, apart from the fact that we had rising FDI over the last few years, two developments that we have seen over the previous period has been the Greek 10-year bond yield, which for the first time it is below 1%. It is an all-time low, that percentage for the interest rate. Whereas at the same time, we've also seen a price rally in the Athens Stock Exchange among Greek stocks, which actually led to the stock exchange being named the best performing European market, with returns over 50% in 2019, according to a Financial Times study. So what we see is that the economy is transforming, and this happens as the Greek government sets key policy priorities. These include increasing the value of production and of the intrinsic economic sectors of the Greek economy and production, inclusive of growth, the creation of jobs by capitalizing on the high caliber of human capital and its availability, the attraction of new FDI investments in a broad spectrum of developing economic sectors. I will cover that matter later in my presentation. Also, the promotion of outward-looking and export-oriented sectors, and the support of innovative, dynamic companies and clustering efforts with obvious significance for technology and innovation investments. The way and the means of doing that would be through a lean and supporting public sector and a stable, business-friendly framework for investments. And I would like to cite some indicative recent examples that point towards that direction. These include the corporate tax reduction by 4%, the reduction by 50%, so from 10 to 5, of the dividends tax, and also the gradual reduction of social security contributions paid by the employee by 5 percentage points, which will happen over the next 3 years. However, there is recent discussion that this reduction might be applied earlier due to the prevailing situation, the impact of COVID in the economy. Dear participants, Greece today offers a unique investment proposition as it combines timeless competitive advantages pertaining to its unique geographical location at the crossroads of 3 continents. This has profound implications, as we understand, for energy, infrastructure, transport, and many other sectors. The fact that it is a country that's an economic hub of Southeast Europe that gives availability and has strong links with the neighboring countries and economies. A country that has extensively developed infrastructure which facilitates new investments and offers an exceptional human talent at very competitive cost compared to other European economies. At the same time, the country demonstrates emerging economic characteristics and opportunities with great growth potential, as we see a market opening up to new investment with opportunities, many opportunities to run operations at highly competitive costs, and also several growth opportunities in key business sectors. We spoke earlier about the human capital talent and its availability. 2 key statistics to be remembered relate to the fact that 25% of the population aged 25 to 65 years old hold a bachelor's degree, as opposed to an OECD average of 16%, putting immediately Greece over the near the upper quartile of the distribution of for labor education, tertiary education. Of that percentage, a quarter, 25%, hold a science, technology, engineering, or mathematics degree. This again has implications and is important for investments and running businesses relating to innovation, to new technologies, to engineering and other subjects and investments that require this science discipline and background. By now, it should be clear to you that FDI is a key priority for Greece, but at the same time, this is a key priority for many international world-renowned companies that have actually decided to set a home base in Greece. So many multinationals spanning from a breadth of sectors, from energy to construction to fast-moving consumer goods to trade to tourism and many more, have decided to choose Greece as an investment destination and to expand their operations here over even at the last 10 years. For the purposes of today's online forum, I would like to present to you some key investments already deployed in Greece pertaining to the sectors of energy and infrastructure. Starting with the port of Piraeus, I think it has been analyzed already by several distinguished speakers before that we currently have a 1.5 billion euro total investment plan being deployed there. Very important, the fact that within 10 years, the port has been upgraded and has managed to become #1 in the Mediterranean and number four in Europe in the ranking, according to the TEUs being shipped from the port. Another similar investment is the privatization of the Thessaloniki port, through the consortium acquiring the port and already deploying a 180 million euro investment plan. Another example from the energy sector relates to the Trans-Adriatic gas pipeline, TAP. This is an international pipeline running through the north and mainland Greece area. This is part of the southern gas corridor of the European Union for the transport of energy. And this is another project that it's nearly complete within its Greek part, with its expected initiation and operation date to be within 2021. And another example from the transport sector relates to the privatization of 14 very important regional airports of Greece, including ports in mainland, the islands, Thessaloniki is an example, major islands, Western Greece, etc., where the winning scheme led by the German airport operator Fraport has won the concession to operate, manage, develop, and maintain these facilities, and is currently deploying a 3 billion euro investment plan. So, one message that we've been clearly conveying in the international investment community is that FDI is welcome in Greece. And indeed, there are several attractive investment sectors, starting with energy and clean tech, tourism and real estate, agribusiness and food, shared services centers and business process operations, the innovation sector of ICT, information communication technology, logistics, audiovisual productions, life sciences and pharmaceuticals, and also the privatizations agenda, which has been successfully progressing over the previous few years with a contribution primarily from the Hellenic Republic Asset and Development Fund. Getting now to the session into the part of my presentation about who we are and what we do. Our CEO earlier on covered extensively the mandate of the organization. What I would like to stress in my presentation is what kind of services we can offer to interested investors. We offer a set of integrated investment promotion and support services, which relate to identifying and proposing investment opportunities in key sectors of the economy, in preparing customized investment proposals and introducing specific investment projects through our project portfolio service. I will elaborate in a minute about that. And we also provide at the same time matchmaking services to investors and local entrepreneurs, offering site location services for project development and informing on sector-specific required licenses. We also inform on available financial tools and incentives. Excuse me. Oh, yes. I mentioned before about the Enterprise Greece project portfolio. We have a portfolio of private energy projects, which are flagship projects, open to investor entry. They're developed and supported by well-established Greek energy companies with a global footprint and a proven experience in the development and operation of scalable projects. The subsectors of energy covered include wind, large hydro, pumped storage, gas, and hybrid RES. Geographic coverage is throughout Greece, mainland and the islands, and the total investment cost is in excess of 4 billion euros. The type of cooperations are the following, and they're open to discussion with the project owners. and the interest for these projects should be can be given to Enterprise Greece, and we will relay that information later on to the project owner and the interested party. So, with that completed, I would like to thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stamo. Let's stop participating sharing. Enterprise Greece is one of the main reasons that somebody should come and invest in Greece, because the support they provide is first-class support comparing to a lot of investment agencies globally. So now it's the turn of Mr. Nikos Mantzoufas. Is Mr. Mantzoufas with us? Here he is. Let me introduce to you Mr. Nikos Mantzoufas, Secretary General of Private Investments and PPP Projects, public-private projects of the Ministry of Development and Investment. He will present us the infrastructure opportunities and relevant policies. Mr. Mantzoufas is one of the most experienced executives of the Greek public sector, and we are very glad that he is with us today. Mr. Mantzoufas, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for the invitation, and wish a very successful event. As the ambassador and my minister expressed at the beginning, we do believe and we want to have an even stronger cooperation with the Chinese companies, the Chinese government, which is already evident, but the room is really open for more things to do. So let me, in my intervention, give you a brief overview of three elements. I'm referring to the public-private partnerships, and the second that I will refer to is the strategic investments. These are two key elements which could and are attracting important international and domestic investments in Greece. Now, in regard to public-private partnerships, we have a very rigid framework for this type of projects. And so far, we have signed 14 PPP contracts of approximately 1 billion euro. And these are projects in several sectors, from waste management to urban transportation, broadband projects, school projects, etc. These projects have been successfully completed and are at operational stage, and have very also successfully attracted private investments, including the European Investment Bank, which has supported at the investment side of these projects. Some key elements on our track record is that last year we have been acknowledged by the World Bank as the number 3rd among 135 countries in the field of good procurement processes on PPPs. This is an evidence saying that Greece on PPPs has a very, very transparent, open, and well-operated framework to develop tenders and execute projects. As I said, we were ranked 3rd among 135 countries under the World Bank report. Also, and this is something that might have interest, a wider interest, we have already experienced some deals of our PPP projects at the secondary market. So we have seen, for instance, a Swedish company acquire one of the contractors of a school project. So this is a framework that already works quite well. Now, at the moment, we have an active pipeline of almost 15 PPP projects of approximately value of 2 billion. These are projects in several sectors, from broadband sector. This is an 870 million project that is at the last stages of the tender. We have 9 bidders in that project, among which is ADMIE. So ADMIE is one of the bidders in that particular tender. And there are tenders for school accommodations, for school projects, for student accommodation facilities, for motorway projects. There are 2 of them at the moment, and 1 is expected soon to be approved. We have also another project at the Biomedical Institute of the Academy of Athens. And we also have a list of street lighting projects and a water dam project. So these are projects that, as I said, are in an active pipeline. We expect more to be approved within the next few months. All this would come under open international tenders. So any company that has an interest, all the tenders are published at the TED. So it's international tenders that any participant from any part of the world could participate. So this is an area that perhaps could have interest for Chinese companies, and we would invite to have a view on these tenders and decide on your participation. As I said, in one of them already, ADMIE is participating there. Now, the second area that I would like to highlight is the strategic investments. And what we do mean by strategic investments? These are large-scale investments that get an approval by an interministerial committee that provides 2 areas of benefits. The first area, which is very important, and this is for any project that is above 40 million euro, that provides 70 full-time employees, or regardless of the employees, 100 million euro. So any project that is above 100 million euro, regardless of employees, or 40 million with 75 employees, could be considered a strategic investment. And what would be provided there? The most important thing is that we do provide special development incentives. So, for example, we do provide special development incentives that are approved by presidential decree. And in that sense, we give specific land uses and environmental terms in areas where the existing framework would not allow or would conflict with other overlapping strategies. So this is an ad hoc special development incentive that comes under a presidential decree that gives 100% comfort to any investor that the investment could be developed at that particular region. And to give you some examples of recent strategic investment projects, we have a large touristic development project in the municipality of Hermionida. This is an almost $500 million touristic project that includes houses, hotels, golfs, etc. This is a large complex that again could not be developed without this special approval of the planning and the land use under the presidential decree. We have also a recent one that soon will be approved by the President of Democracy, which is a large-scale touristic development in the island of Mykonos. This comes from the Saudi Arabian AGC Equity Partners. This is a 60 million investment that again could not have been implemented without this special planning. Another example is the so-called Elunda Hills in the island of Crete. This is again a $500 million large-scale touristic investment. And also we have a number of renewable energy approvals that come under this regime. Another element of this regime is that all the licenses are being provided directly by the Ministry of Economy, by us. So one does not get the permit licensing, the installation licenses from the various different authorities, but centrally from a central body with my signature and the signature of the minister. So that means that for these large-scale strategic investments, also we really speed up the licensing procedure, and we make it very rigid, having one point of contact that has the full authority to give the necessary approvals. So in that respect, we have also as strategic investments renewable projects. At the moment, we have projects that are of approximately 1 billion euro, both in wind and solar. And this is an open call, so any investor could at any point of time present his business plan and his particular interest. The first point of contact is Enterprise Greece, and we are very happy to have an excellent cooperation. So any investor that is interested to get the benefit of these incentives, I described the special planning incentives and the fast track and one stop shop in terms of licenses on any type of investment that is above 100 million or 40 million with 75 workers at the operational phase. Please, we will be happy to start any discussions or any first ideas you might have, support you in structuring them.
We don't hear you so well now, Mr. Manzoufas. We don't hear you very well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now it's good.
Okay, so as I said, the first point of contact is Enterprise Greece, and please take the opportunity and explore more this initiative. It really works. I can guarantee you for that. So any good idea, we are happy to discuss it and make it a real project. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I'm really pleased and honored to participate in such a distinguished audience.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nikos Manzoufas, Secretary General of Private Investment and PPP Projects of the Ministry of Development and Investment. Mr. Manzoufas, we already answered some questions asking for the website where people can learn about PPP projects. So it's SDIT, etc. People already know that.
Correct.
So I would like now to give the floor to Mrs. Nektaria Karakatsani. She is a member of the board of the Greek Energy Regulatory Authority, and she will talk about clean energy, investment opportunities, and relevant policies. Ms. Karakatsani.
Thank you very much. It is a great pleasure to be joining this stimulating forum. Actually, I have been to China on several occasions, and it has always been inspiring for me, not only in terms of energy technology and innovation, but also in terms of cultural heritage. It is true that energy can create strong links among countries, even when geopolitics create complications. In particular, the clean energy transition raises common challenges and requires strong global collaboration. Europe is very much focused on the green transition. Nevertheless, it only accounts for 11% of global CO2 emissions. This certainly underlines the key role that China plays in climate change mitigation. The collaboration between the two regions is now becoming more essential and more intensive than ever before. In a recent study trip to China, the European Commission presented a study which actually indicated that if China wishes to adopt some elements of the European market design, then significant CO2 savings can emerge up to the amount of Germany's emissions. So certainly there are a lot of directions for further collaboration. In Greece, we are also very much committed to decarbonization. As you can see in this graph, our energy mix has evolved significantly over the last years. The lignite market share used to be 50% in the past, and it has now been steadily declining. Last year, it reached 20%, whereas at the same time, the renewables market share has escalated to the level of 24% annually. In parallel, gas is a significant source for us. It is the transitional fuel for decarbonization, and its market share last year was 30%. The target for 2030 that has been set by the Greek state is that renewables will reach 60% of electricity production. Actually, this translates into 9 billion euros of private investments. Overall, the National Energy and Climate Plan stipulates 44 billion investments over the next decade. Effectively, the installed capacity of renewables is going to more than double. You can see here some of the key sectors on which these investments are going to be allocated. Energy efficiency is a key one, amounting to 11 billion, whereas electricity grids, which are also essential for the better incorporation of renewables, represent 9 billion. The Greek energy regulator, that I'm a member of the board, actually of the regulator, has been conducting renewable tenders over the last 3 years. We have been auctioning 2,600 megawatts of renewable capacity. Out of the 14 auctions that we have implemented, most of them are technology specific for wind and solar, and 2 of them are technology neutral. The cost efficiency that was achieved via these auctions is actually remarkable. The lowest bid was almost half of the ceiling price when we actually started these auctions in 2016 in our first pilot. In July, we are going to have our next auctions, and the ceiling price is 63 euros per megawatt hour. Just a brief note on what are our key functions as regulators. So effectively, we set the market rules, and our objective is to create competition and benefits for our consumers. We do the licensing and monitoring. Energy security is a key component for us, and we also regulate monopolistic networks. That is, we determine the rates of the investments so that they deliver what is actually required. It is very crucial for us to allow for a stable but also flexible regulatory framework that will allow investments to actually occur and provide visibility to the market. In terms of support schemes, how do we compensate renewables? In 2016, we actually shifted from feed-in tariffs to feed-in premium. So the new stations actually receive revenues from the market plus an extra component. And this actually creates the link to the market prices. And it is very important because it averts deficits in the renewables account. In terms of the tenders that the regulator is conducting, the technology neutral ones have been approved already by the European Commission to continue over the next 5 years. And in terms of technology-specific auctions, that is wind and solar, the Ministry of Energy is actually submitting a request for an extension, so for 3 or maybe more years in the future. All renewables currently have a very limited, a partial balancing exposure to the market, and this is going to be the case until a substantial liquidity is reached in intraday markets. Competition has worked very well and prices really went down. You can see here one example where hundreds or even thousands of bids were actually submitted. But apart from competition, what the regulator is also focusing on is project viability. So this is an example of a case where we were concerned about the low level of the prices that emerged, and in order to have projects that are secure and will be materialized, we intervened and changed and adapted the ceiling price methodology. So both cost efficiency, but also project viability is key for us. Currently in Greece, there is a huge momentum in the renewable sector. We have shown strong interest by international players in order to develop not only mature projects, but also portfolio developments from the beginning. And you can see here how the license applications for production that are submitted to the regulator have escalated. Last December, we received 485 requests, which amount to almost 16 gigawatts of renewables. That is already the target for installed capacity in 2030. At the same time, as gas is the perfect partner to renewables, as they say, and actually it provides all the flexibility that renewable intermittency brings into the market, we have received a lot of applications for new CCGT plants. At the same time, there is a clear phase-out plan for lignite units by 2023, with the exception of a new plant, which is going to shift to a new fuel mix by 2018. For us, renewable integration is critical, and this is why there is a lot of focus also on island interconnections, on upgrading of the network so as to alleviate local congestion, also storage and hybrid stations. What is also interesting is that our dominant company in the energy sector, PPC, has recently revised its strategy, showing a strong focus on renewables. So they are tendering several key projects, mainly in coal and lignite areas, so as to transform the social and the economic profile also of these areas. In autumn, we expect to have our first auction for energy efficiency. It is a pilot tender of the order of 5 to 10 million. And the objective is to attract aggregators or ESCOs, for instance, that can deliver maximum energy savings. Just to note that by the end of this decade, in Greece, we are going to renovate 600,000 buildings, which is a huge challenge, and it will certainly mobilize a lot of investments. In any case, green financing is at the core of the banking sector across Europe, and in Greece in particular. We have also seen key Greek players in the sector to issue green bonds with great success recently. A crucial development is that the licensing process of renewables in Greece is being simplified to a great extent. The entire process is going to be shortened to 2 years or 3 in exceptional circumstances. Currently, we are developing a digital registry, which is going to interact automatically with financial and environmental registries. So we are moving to a totally transparent and digital process. Each project is going to have a unique ID number so that we can follow the process and make sure that no delays happen across the chain. Recently, a new environmental law came into force, actually in May, and it was really a revolution, the fact that the production license was substituted by a simple automatic notification. In addition, the new law allows for multiple renewable producers to actually expand the network via a new substation and share the cost. This means that we can now alleviate local congestion in the network via more flexible schemes. At the same time, there are several privatization schemes at different levels of maturity in Greece within the current year. We regulate these energy operators, both in gas and electricity. This is just a summary of their profile. You can see that in all cases, there is huge capex, huge investment potential involved, and this is why we have attractive WACC levels, that is the weighted average cost of capital, and we also introduce incentive mechanisms. So we provide extra WACC, a WACC premium, in order to achieve or exceed certain targets and specific projects which we consider crucial for the green transition. At the same time, Greece is being transformed into a gas hub. Our LNG terminal has seen recently, after its upgrading and extension, an escalation of cargoes. The utilization rate has exceeded 55%. So this brings a lot of options and diversified options for low LNG prices, which are being exported significantly to the northern countries. At the same time, new services are being developed, including truck loading and small-scale LNG, as well as a lot of pipelines and interconnection points. A significant project that is going to be tendered shortly and will be presented in detail later is the underground storage facility of Kavala. At the same time, there is a mature FSRU project in Alexandroupolis, currently in the process of the market test, and another one in investment maturity. Overall, key reforms have been implemented in the Greek energy sector. And the outcome is that we now have more competitive markets, which are fully compliant with the EU rules and well connected in terms of physical interconnections. We have a Hellenic energy exchange in place and an energy clearing house, which provide reliable and transparent price signals and settlement processes. We have new market roles, increasing interest for gas trading, for aggregators, banks are involved as clearing parties, and also EV service providers are going to emerge as the government is going to present tomorrow all the coherent plan about the development of charging points and also incentives for EV vehicles. So overall, our markets are in a very good position. The Greek energy regulator has been very active on proposing frameworks for certain aspects of the clean energy transition. For instance, currently we're working in depth on storage framework, both for pumped hydro as well as batteries. Also, we are looking at tenders for immature projects, mainly in islands, and the framework for offshore wind. Innovation is a key driver for the green transition, and in Greece, we are also committed to this. It is remarkable that the transition of the lignite areas entails at the core of the strategy green hydrogen. There is also strong business and industrial interest in certain clean technologies, including batteries, smart meters, and electrical vehicles. In terms of contracts, a strong trend in Europe after the US is PPAs, and these are going to emerge in Greece shortly. They allow renewable producers to actually contract directly with big consumers or suppliers. And we have the market instruments in place so that this hedging is successfully conducted. As a Greek philosopher has noted 5 years before Christ, nothing is more stable than the change in self. And actually, the energy sector is currently under a profound transformation at a global level. Overall, why should a foreign investor choose the Greek energy sector? I wanted to emphasize today the following points. We have reliable market environments that provide all the necessary instruments for investor stability. Competitive forces are currently strong in Greece. There is a huge interest by international players in the renewable sector, but also in clean energy technologies. There is a huge infrastructure potential in electricity and gas grids, and we have in place the regulatory frameworks that will actually provide the right incentives and reward efficient performance. So this is certainly a key element for new investors and strong investors to enter this strong sector. Overall, the country has a strong commitment to energy transition. It is one of the key sectors identified by the Prime Minister, and the National Energy and Climate Plan has a coherent, a very well-designed strategy to reach the targets for 2030. In this context, we are proud that the regulator is part of this crucial transformation of the energy sector, and we will be happy to respond to any of your questions. Here are my contact details, so either today or via email, I will be happy to take on your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Nektaria Karakatsani, member of the board of the Greek Energy Regulatory Authority. Now we continue by calling the Honorable President of our co-host of China Overseas Development Association, Mr. Hu Weiping, for his brief welcome speech. Mr. Weiping.
好的，谢谢主席先生的邀请。下面我受委托，把我们今天代表中方的这个参加会议这一方的一些这种欢迎和参与的意识做一个表达。尊敬的希腊发展和投资部长乔治亚季斯部长，尊敬的中国国家发展改革委刘晓楠司长，尊敬的中国驻希腊大使张启月女士，希腊驻华大使乔治先生，中西双方各位嘉宾朋友们，尊敬的大会主席先生。另外，我也特别想说一下，包括我们张珍熙先生啊，我觉得也是我们一个老朋友，也向他表示致敬啊。这个大家好，尽管新冠肺炎疫情带来了极大的困难和不便，我们借助现代化的高科技手段，中西双方依然可以就共同关心的投资问题，通过国际连线的方式进行交流和探讨，为企业寻找和创造投资发展的机会。在此，首先我仅代表本次论坛的中方的主办方中国产业海外发展协会，向出席今天投资希腊国际在线论坛的嘉宾们表示诚挚的欢迎和衷心的感谢。当前新冠肺炎疫情仍在全球蔓延，严重的威胁到人类生命安全和身体健康，给世界经济造成了巨大的冲击和深刻的影响。中国是最早控制疫情并取得重大成就的国家，目前 仍然正在全力的复工达产、复商复市和回归正常的秩序。中国产业海外发展协会愿与西方一道，加强线上和线下的相互交流和努力，保持密切的关系，营造投资的机会，努力为两国人民创造更多的实际利益和福祉。我们看到近年来两国高访频繁，合作不断深化。希腊总理米佐塔亚斯先生2019年11月5号出席了上海第2届中国国际进口博览会。中国国家主席习近平先生于2019年11月11日访问了希腊，在米佐塔斯基总理的陪同下，全面考察了中远海运比雷埃夫斯港的投资项目和共建“一带一路”的情况。刘晓南司长刚才在会上也介绍了与希腊发展和投资部签署的深化双方重点的投资领域的合作，以及2020年将开启新一轮3年合作计划情况，为我们携手应对当前危机奠定了坚定的基础。作为助推中国企业走出去投资的行业协会，我们将主动配合，做好中西两国合作计划落地的相关工作，透过多种的途径和有效方式，铺路搭桥，精准服务，积极引导和帮助中国企业到希腊去投资发展。我们看到中国政府在统筹做好常态化疫情防控的前提下，近期出台了有关经济发展的一系列重要的政策措施，比如6月1号向全球发布了中国海南自由贸易港建设总体方案，这是习近平主席亲自谋划、亲自部署、亲自推动而做出的重大决策，清晰而明确地提出了贸易自由便利、投资自由便利、跨境资金流动自由便利等11个方面的39条具体建议和具体政策，对标世界高水平开放形态，对标国际高水平的经贸规则，大力促进生产要素自由便利的流动，高质量高标准的建设自由贸易港，致力打造成一个合法化、国际化、便利化的营商环境与公平高效的第一流的市场环境。我们认为中国是希腊的巨大市场，真诚的欢迎希腊的这个企业界来中国投资兴业，分享我国进入更高水平对外开放和经济高质量发展的新机遇。尤其在逆全球化和全球产业链、供应链仍处于停摆状态下的背景下，我们海外协会愿意穿针引线，尽一切努力和可能，提供多方面的帮助和优质高效的服务，在中西两国实现跨境投资合作方面的发展中，结出更多更丰美的果实。在此，我们预祝本次线上国际论坛取得圆满的成功。谢谢大家。
Thank you very much, Mr. Hu Weiping, Honorable President of CODA. Now we continue by calling Honorable Founder and CEO of China Go Abroad, co-organizer of our forum, Mr. Jesse Chang, for his brief address, for his greeting. Mr. Chang. I think you have to open the microphone. Mr. Chang, we cannot hear you. You have to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. George, if you don't mind, I'll call you George. I feel I'm very close to you. I'm very impressed with what you've done to date. Thank you very much. And if I may also, I'd like to express my true appreciation and adoration for what Dr. Karakasani had just said. She, I thought, was full of expertise, interest, enthusiasm. And I couldn't understand everything she said. I could probably understand about 50%, but thank you so much. Real eye-opener. Good morning to our friends in Greece, and good afternoon to our comrades in China. 欢迎, 欢迎. China Go Abroad, CGA, if you like, is honored to have match-made this online forum with our long-term partner, Coda, and our new Greek member, Belt and Road Associates. Without question, the forum is a bold online initiative aimed at promoting the bilateral investment and trade relations between our two countries as COVID-19 continues to rage and cripple the global economy. We certainly also hope that this precious opportunity will further facilitate business ties between China and Greece. So what does CGA, China Go Abroad, do? What do we do? Which I'm sure is the question that most of you, if not all of you, have. So we are an online and offline advisory body founded by Transasia lawyers with the assistance and guidance of Coda about 8 years ago. And of course, we were also led and guided by the NDRC. So CGA prides itself on being the first Chinese-English bilingual membership and investment intelligence aggregator, which has pulled off, which has attracted over 1 million members and subscribers globally. To supplement this dynamic online community that extends bespoke and exclusive services such as matchmaking, legal, and other professional services necessary for cross-border investment. So you might say, well, what projects have you actually done? What partnerships have you put together? So the one with which we're very proud is the fact that we were able to collaborate with our local partners in Indonesia to assist China Rail in ultimately winning the bid for the Jakarta-Bandung rail project. And guess who we beat? You won't believe it, but Japan Rail. And if that's believable, can you hear me?
Yes, but the connection is not so good.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I just wanted to share with you that China Go Abroad is very proud of what we did for China Rail in Indonesia, insofar as we helped them beat Japan Rail for the Jakarta-Bandung Rail project. And Japan Rail had been there 5 years ahead of China Rail. So today we continue to work closely with our various country partners and industry experts from across the world. And if I may, I'll conclude my speech by sharing with you 3 projects that we're undertaking right now, which I believe will be great, not just for China, but for the world. The first project on which we're working is a fire extinguisher bomb. And you might say, well, what is that? That is something that we're doing to put out bushfire. And as you may or may not know, there is no solution to fire. I mean, we are in the 21st century, and yet bushfire remains something that nobody can actually put out. So we're working with a China-based safety and security technology firm for the international marketing of its fire extinguisher bomb, which, as I said, provides the first solution ever to wildfires that have become a worldwide calamity. That's the first project that I want to share with you. The second project we're doing is we're working with a Canadian healthcare platform, which offers a QR code that quickly checks your COVID-19 health status for interpersonal social distancing. We're assisting the developer, who is actually my cousin, with the international promotion of this platform. So both projects are very good for mankind, and both are immediately needed. The third one that we're doing is lithium battery, and so
Jesse, the connection is very, very bad. Interrupted. So I'm not sure if you can hear us, but we cannot hear you. So I think, is it only my problem, or all the others also cannot hear Mr. Tsang? Okay, so I have to take Mr. Tsang off. Okay, so I have to interrupt this because the connection of Mr. Tsang is not good. So we're gonna move to the next speaker, who is me. Me as a representative of Belt and Road Associates. Let's see now, Mr. Tsang, no. Let me see this. This is technical and we need to solve this. Stop video and mute. Okay, so I'm gonna be extremely brief because I'm the last one before the projects and before Mr. Kteniadis' presentation. So I'm gonna present Belt and Road Associates. In Greece, Chinese companies will have no difficulty working with professionals who will support them in order to enter the Greek market. They will support them in their efforts to find the right local partners, projects, to get to know the Greek legislation, the way the Greeks think, to get in touch with the government organizations. One of those professionals is Belt and Road Associates. Our difference is that we are committed to Belt and Road Initiative. It's no coincidence that our name is Belt and Road Associates. Personally, I traveled to China 8 times last year to talk with our partners, support our services, participate in forums and events. China is actually my second home. So our vision is to help expand Belt and Road Initiative. Our vision is to help increase, our vision is to help increase Chinese investments in Greece. That's why we took the initiative to organize this forum together with our Chinese partners. We invite you to invest in our country for many reasons. You have already heard a lot from the minister and the speakers from Greece. I will add one more. Many European countries have doubts about Chinese investments, but not in Greece. Here, Chinese investments are very welcome. So what I suggest you is to invest in Greece and use Greece as a growth center, as a hub for Europe. Because when your company is based in Greece, the European branch of your company, regardless of whether the funds are Chinese, in the rest of the European countries, they treat you like Europeans because actually you are Greek. Thank you very much. So now we move to the last part, or to the third part of our forum. And I will invite Mr. Vangelis Kteniadis from V-Square to start his video and make his presentation. V-Square, Mr. Kteniadis, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so let me introduce you, Mr. Vangelis Kteniadis, the owner and CEO of V-Squared, our gold sponsor today, the #1 development company in Greece since 1962. He's going to make a presentation for investors' permanent residence permit in Greece. Mr. Kteniadis.
Thank you, Mr. Floras, and it's a great honor to be participating in this event and with all distinguished speakers that spoke before me. I would like to do a brief introduction about our company, and then we will go through to a small presentation regarding the Greek Investors Permanent Residency Program, as I would like to call it, or Golden Visa as it's wider known. First of all, about my name is Vangelis Terniadis, and I'm the sole owner of V2 Development. We introduce ourselves as the #1 development company in Greece because we have signed more than 7,000 contracts of our exclusive ownership on various real estate assets since 1962. My father was Vangelis Terniadis, Senior. That's why also the name of our company is V2, because his name was Vangelis, my name is Vangelis, so it's Vangelis multiplied by Vangelis is V squared. So he, as a owner and managing director of Argon Development, and myself as a managing director and owner of V2 Development, we have signed, as I said, more than 7,000 contracts of real estate assets of our exclusive ownership. Therefore, our company has offices in China, because since 2012, when we started to have meetings with the various government officers at the time, in order to make the Golden Visa program, which was initiated on May 2013. And it's been a long way since then, since May of 2013, to reach the point in 2018, which was the first year ever in history that a program, a residency program by investment of another country, surpassed the American EB5 program. It is the first time in history that this occurred, and the Greek program is the #1 program in the world for the years of 2018 and 2019. And as I said again, in 2018 was the first time ever in history that the program of another country surpassed the American EB5. So we are the first in the world, and the point is how to continue to be there, and what are the benefits and why the program is so popular. This is what I will go through today to analyze the benefits of the program, which we have we need to mention that 70% of the investors that currently that have taken a residency permit are Chinese, and this number continuously growing, because the analogy of the Chinese investors, it's the scale and the growing pace of the Chinese investors are much faster than any other country, than Turkey, which is #2, and Russia, which is #3. So we see that this number will definitely increase. First of all, we have to make clear that our program, it is a permanent residency program. It's not a visa. Many people in the past and our competitors from various countries were always bad-mouthing and talking about the Greek program, that it's a visa program. It is not a visa program. Visa has an issuance date and has an expiration date. Here we're talking about a permanent residency, which only needs to be renewed every 5 years, because Greek passports have the valid of 5 years. So the Greek government cannot issue a travel document to citizens of a third country while when it's their own citizens, it provides with a 5-year passport validation, which needs to be renewed after it expires. So in exactly the same logic, the permanent residency needs to be renewed every 5 years, and the only requirement for the renewal is for the property to still be at the investor's ownership. That is the only requirement, and it's a very small process that we're taking from the land registry, the certification that the property still belongs to the investor, and this being deposited to the immigration offices, and therefore the renewals are being applied. Therefore, the second most important advantage of the program is that it gives right to ascendants and descendants of one generation of the main applicant, the ascendants of the immediate family, and the descendants of one generation, they have the right to also get the permanent residency. And for children up to the year of 24 years old, they can be dependent people onto the main applicant. After that, they will be, there is a possibility that they can take the property on their name, so their parents can become the ascendants, or they can purchase another property and keep maintaining their permanent residency status. The third most important advantage of the program is the same-day approval. It is the only program in the world that you know that you are approved on the same day, because when you deposit the papers, the immigration papers from the attorneys into the immigration offices, at the same day you receive the so-called temporary permanent residency permit, or blue paper, as we call it more often. And immediately you know that you've been approved. So therefore, there is no time that you need to waiting for the results of the approval. It is an extremely fast track process, which the Greek government has made, and it is also one of the strongest advantages of the program. Going to the fourth most important advantage is that there is no days requirement that the investor needs to stay in Greece. You need to make just one visit in order to give fingerprints, as has been required by Schengen Treaty, and it's the only time that the investor needs to visit Greece, if they want. Therefore, there is no need to maintain the permanent residency in order for days to be spent in our country, which is the requirement for many other European countries for similar programs that they possess. Another thing, the fifth most important advantage, is that when you're selling the property to another citizen of a third country, you also you can also get immediately, the citizen of a third country can also get the permanent residency, while the investor is losing. So when an investor is taking a property over 250,000 euros in Greece and gets a permanent residency, if for the XYZ reason they do not want it in the future and they want to sell the property, they can also have the ability to have an extra value on their property, because they're also selling their permanent residency directly. Another point is about that the property owners could rent their properties, which in many other European countries they do not have this ability. So the investors can rent their properties. For example, right now we are managing more than 700 properties of our clients who have purchased properties who are abroad, and we're offering managing services, and we are managing more than 700 properties right now. So that gives to the investors the ability to have a return on their investment immediately after the contract has been signed. Then the eighth most important advantage is to apply for citizenship, as something that most people do not know. If a child less than 18 years old, from 12 years old, stays in Greece and goes to a Greek school, to a school in Greece, excuse me, not to a Greek school. It can go to an American, English, or any kind of other school. If a citizen of a third country stays in Greece more than 6 years and goes to a school in Greece, has the right to apply for Greek citizenship. For adults, it needs to be 7 years, and the adult needs to be staying in the country more than 50% of the time plus 1 day. That means 186 days per year that an adult needs to stay for 7 consecutive years in order to have the right to apply for citizenship, plus a very small, very basic language test at the end. So that gives the opportunity to investors who initially they're getting the permanent residency, if they're thinking of moving with their families and live in our country, that they have the possibility after some time to also get a citizenship in a country in the European Union. Then the ninth most important advantage of the program is that there is no need to submit a criminal record, which it's, in my opinion, a kind of insulting to the investors. We want to give the feeling to our investors that we take out the red carpet of them. So asking them for medical examinations, for criminal records, for source of funds, even it's very insulting. Therefore, the Greek government, regarding the source of funds, has decided that since the money are on a financial institution, that means on a bank, on any other country outside of Greece, then the money can be transferred into the client's, the investor's bank account in Greece, or to the development company or wherever that selling the property to them, and therefore that constitutes a legal way of getting the permanent residency. So no medical examinations required, no criminal record, no source of funds. Then the next most important thing is that what we have mentioned, and this is where I will finalize and close my presentation, that as I said, the way of payment, regarding the way of payment, which was very concerning, especially for the Chinese investors, because as we know, there is a capital control in China. Every Chinese citizen has the ability to transfer out of the country $50,000, which is around 44,000 euros. So the Greek government recently, with the initiative of Mr. Adam Georgiadis, together with Mr. Fragogiannis from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Mr. Iliopoulos from the enterprise in Greece, they passed a legislation which the investor, the main investor, the property owner who is the main investor, can have his immediate family, his first and second degree relatives to send money on his behalf. So you understand, since the purchase of the property is to the amount of 150,000 euros and plus the expenses, or if they want to buy, the investor wants to buy a more expensive property, they needed at least 7 to 8 people, and that ability is being given with the legislation that passed almost 2 months ago by the Ministry of Development and Foreign Investments. So that was a major issue that was overpassed with this initiative by the ministry. And also we have the assurance by the minister that this way of payment will be an expansion, and any kind of legal entity or individual will have the ability to send money on the behalf of the main investor. That will be something that will even make the process even more easy regarding the way of payment, regarding our Chinese investors, which, as I said, they constitute more than 70% of the total investors for the Greek investors permanent residence permit. And we are looking forward to have this legislation passed. I want to thank you very much for participation for this great event, and I'm looking forward to hear to the rest of the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vangelis Steniadis. Obviously, the most experienced professional in the golden visa scene. Now we move. Yes.
For one moment, I would like to say just a little bit on this, on what you said. We
10
are
seconds. 10 seconds.
A development company, meaning the program is requiring to purchase a property. We are having a history of 58 years into that sector, and it's not like because of the golden visa, as many companies or other individuals been very fond of recently. We were always in real estate. The law just happened to require the purchase of the property, and we will continue to do what we did. And personally, I grew up, always going to projects next to my father.
Okay, thank you. So now we move to the projects. I give the floor to Mrs. Anna Maria Kalianou. She is the Investor Relations Manager of the Hellenic Republic Asset Development Fund, to make our first presentation. Mrs. Kalianou.
Good afternoon from me. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here today.
I want you to spend time here. Okay.
I'm going to start with a few words about the privatizations fund.
Yeah, so they can't see you.
The Hellenic Republic Asset Development Fund, which basically runs the privatization projects of the Greek state assets, was established back in 2011. And I'm sorry. It was established back in 2011 to privatize public assets and get significant. Δεν μπορώ να πάω πίσω για κάποιο λόγο. Sorry for a minute. Δεν μου πηγαίνει τη σελίδα πίσω του page up. Δεν ξέρω τι κατεβαίνει. Okay, terribly sorry. We start again. So we were established back in 2011 with a mandate to privatize public assets and gather some significant revenues to reduce the public debt. Our main objective is to attract direct investment, maximize value revenues to the Greek state in order to restart the Greek economy. We aim to deliver long-term, sustainable and investor-friendly privatizations, socially acceptable, to create new job opportunities, to help restructure markets to the benefit of the end consumers. And we do that by following a robust business model to secure transparency, prevent conflicts of interest, nevertheless stay with the investor until the last minute and after the privatization is completed. We also have a monitoring unit inside the company that stands with the investor in case they face problems after the assignment of contract, the signing of the contract, and they stand by him and resolve all administrative or any kind of issues that might come up. Now, we are going to have a look at our energy portfolio, and I would like to start with an energy infrastructure project that we are maturing at the moment, and which we hope that will come out, the tender will come out within this month, within June 2020. So this project refers to the concession of the right to convert and develop the almost depleted offshore natural gas field into the country's first underground gas storage facility. This has been a very important project for Greece and Europe in order to safeguard energy safety by reserving gas. It's almost depleted. At the moment, it is leased, but that lease will end by 2021 or until our tender is finished. And it's very close to existing onshore and offshore infrastructure, as well as to the national grid. It's located in northern Greece, very close to the city of Kavala, around 30 kilometers from the city of Kavala, which again is close to Thessaloniki. And it's included in the projects of, in the list of projects of common interest for Europe, which means that it is eligible for funding from the European Union. Just a wider look on the area and on how Greece is now turning into an energy hub in Southeast Europe. As also mentioned before, I think there are a number of projects taking place at the moment, some of them quite big enough, like the TAP pipeline, the IGB connecting to Bulgaria, the EastMed coming from the Mediterranean, the Poseidon connecting to Italy, an FSAU unit that is currently being built in the city of Alexandroupolis, very close to Kavala as well. And those are expected to enhance the diversification of the country's gas supply. The delignitization also are efforts that are backed by the National Energy and Climate Plan, drive significant investments in gas-fired power generation and in renewable projects. There is some kind of a delay in renewable projects due to the spread of the pandemic, but from what we know up to now, the interest remains very, very high. So there's another opportunity here, apart from the fact that due to all this spread network, Greece has a potential to export natural gas to neighboring European countries and gas markets. There's also another opportunity in the fact that the penetration in the local market, in the domestic market, is quite low. Household penetration in Greece is only 8% versus 36% in the European Union, which means that there is a great potential into growing the natural gas network locally as well, apart from, excuse me, internationally. So I guess this is a project that, because it's going to come out very soon, the tender, maybe you should take some look at it, at least those who are interested in energy projects. The potential is very good. It's going to be the first storage unit in Greece. And I will go through very quickly our tender process for you to be familiar with our processes. Because we're state-run, we have to come out with our international non-discriminatory open tenders. We have two phases in each tender, the pre-qualification phase and the binding offers phase. The pre-qualification phase takes from 2 to 4 months, depending on how many submissions we have. Usually the EOI document, the expression of interest document that we publicize, sets some criteria, pre-qualification criteria, that all participants should meet. And those are usually legal, financial, and technical criteria. So that is the first step of the process. When we receive the submissions, we select and announce the shortlisted parties, and then we proceed to phase 2, where we open a virtual data room. We upload all information, all available information on the particular asset. Then interested parties can run their own due diligence. And of course, there is some cycle of questions and answers and the draft concession agreement that we usually go through with the interested parties until the day comes when they have to submit their binding offers. And then we select the preferred concessionaire, who usually is the one offering the biggest bid. And all the other procedures, depending on the project, sometimes we have to get approvals from the Greek Parliament or from the European Union until we sign the concession agreement. It might take, the whole thing might take from 10 to 12, 13 months. But that is a mandatory phase that we have to go through. There is no one-to-one negotiations, and there's no other way we can run our tenders. Another project we have, an energy company, we have shares of 35.5%, is the Hellenic Petroleum, which is the leading refiner in Greece and has a leading role in Southeastern Europe as well. They operate 3 refineries in the country and cover approximately 2/3 of the country's total refining capacity. They switched their strategy to climate-friendly energy production lately, and they acquired the largest project of renewable energy in Greece, in northern Greece, and one of the top 5 photovoltaic farms in Europe. They hold a key market position with over 30% market share in all kinds of fuels domestically, like retail, commercial, aviation, and bunkering. They're very well established in neighboring countries as well. They hold stakes in Elpedison, which is a natural gas company. I mean, the power generator from natural gas. They also own 35% share in DEPA, which is the national gas, natural gas company. And they're also engaged in all big projects that are related to the exploration and production of hydrocarbons in several areas in Greece, happening now, actually. Now, I would like to stay on DEPA for a bit. I just said that they own 35% share in DEPA. DEPA used to be the public natural gas company. It was very recently split into two companies. One is the DEPA infrastructure that has the networks, and the other is the DEPA commercial, which has the retail. DEPA infrastructure is a tender that is ongoing at the moment, and which the fund started back in January. We just had the shortlisted bidders a couple of days ago, and if anybody would be interested, might come in contact with our advisors, because although there's no tender phase at the moment, I mean, no one can participate right now, they can always come to contact with the already shortlisted parties and see if they would like to join them, or if they would be interested in a joint venture for the second stage, the binding offer stage. So there is an opportunity there for anybody who would like maybe to participate in the DEPA tender, although the first phase is completed. And in fact, we also have a participation from a Chinese company, a Chinese group of companies. Now, last but not least, I'm going to talk about the Public Power Corporation, which is not a project that will, not a tender that will come out soon, because at the moment they're currently restructuring. It's the country's largest electricity generator and the principal supplier of electricity since 1950s. It's vertically integrated. Its power portfolio consists of conventional thermal plants and hydroelectric power plants and renewables installations. And it accounts for approximately 64% of the total installed capacity in the country. We hold the shares of 17%, which we will have to offer through a public tender at some time. The company again has revisited its strategy and it's now headed towards decarbonization by withdrawal from lignite units and promoting investments in renewables as well. But because it is in a phase of restructuring, it is not something, a tender that we will bring out soon enough. We would like to know if there would be interest from your side for the Hellenic Petroleum. And as I mentioned before, the first one that I mentioned, the infrastructure in Kavala, the underground storage facility, will be open for submissions within this month, and we expect your interest to be high. We would be very glad to answer any kind of questions or bring you in contact with our advisors. They can give you the full picture, so you decide whether you'd like to participate or not. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Anna Maria Kalianou, Investor Relations Manager of the Hellenic Republic Asset Development Fund. A lot of participants ask about the presentations. They will be delivered in the next few days through the organizers of the forum. So now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Sophocles Pitarakidis, General Manager of the Panagakos Group of Companies, to give us his presentation about the solar and wind park. Mr. Pitarakidis.
Good morning to all of you. And you see me?
Can see you, yes. Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. I'm the Vice President of Panagakos Group of Companies, and I will make a short presentation of some renewable energy projects, mainly PV and wind in the Greek mainland. It was good to hear that the renewable potential is in a very high standard and condition in the Greek market. And we are constantly seeing more and more interest from foreign investors. I will make a short presentation, firstly with the legal regime of the renewables and the market size. It has been presented in detail from Mrs. Karakachani from the Regulatory Authority of Energy, and then I will go directly to a short presentation of a half a giga PV parks under development and small wind farms of approximately 108 megawatt in the Greek mainland. So regarding the legal regime, in a nutshell, we have two basic pillars currently. One is the auction scheme that has been presented. And so far we have run multiple auctions. The latest auctions conducted on December 2019 has a weighted average feed-in premium level at 59.98 euro per megawatt hours for PV, and for wind from 3 megawatt up to 20 megawatt, approximately 57.74 euro per megawatt hour. The second pillar of the current legislation scheme is the new law that simplifies the licensing procedure by a pure notification of the production license that will be submitted in an electronic form. In general, that means practically that whoever wants to participate and to invest in renewables in Greece, it has the opportunity to participate in auctions and also to have in his mind that the licensing procedure is much more robust, safe, and easier than the previous years. Now, regarding the market size, you can see either on PV sector or on the wind sector a constant stable growth, specifically in the wind, where you can see new installations from year to year, approximately 300 megawatt, mainly onshore. For the PVs, we have stagnation from 2012 up to 2017 due to the financial recession, but from 2018 and on, due to the new supporting scheme, we have 160 megawatt of new PV installations, and this trend is going to continue the upcoming years. Now I'm going directly to a few details regarding the portfolio that we hold under development. The PV portfolio consists of 20 PV parks in the Greek mainland of approximately capacity 491 megawatt. All of these projects are in 2 to up to 5 hours away from Athens, which is the capital of Greece, and the project size varying from 5.4 megawatt up to 65 megawatt, which is the largest. We have clustered the projects in 4 areas, and we have calculated 6 new substations that will give us independence of external factors, meaning that we will not wait for the grid to be expanded in that areas. In some of these projects, we have used trackers, and in others, fixed mounting systems. Practically, that means that we get more yield in the sites from what expected, especially in those with trackers. In general, the annual energy production is well above 1,550 kilowatt hour per kilowatt per year. In total, we have 17 ground-mounted PV parks, and 3 of them have been designed by trackers. Now, regarding the license procedure, all of the projects have submitted the file for the production license to the regulatory authority. As already described previously, the whole licensing procedure most probably will last approximately 10 to 12 months in order someone to be able to participate in an auction. As a construction period, we put a conservative scenario of 18 months. Of course, someone may decide to participate in different time slots for auctions, so these construction periods may be bigger or shorter depending on the strategy for the implementation of the projects. In general, someone needs the so-called production license, which has been, as we already described, removed with a notification, then the environmental approval, and then the grid connection offers. Finally, about the financial of this kind of projects, we estimate a capex of 245 millions. The EPC is around 4 euro cents per watt. We are following the current trend, and obviously through economies of scales, this EPC cost, the engineering, production, and construction can be reduced further. And the substation and connection works costs includes the substation cost, the payments to the grid administrators, and also the cabling outside each PV park. We anticipate the feed-in premium level at 50 euro per megawatt hour. Of course, we can provide, upon request, a sensitivity analysis with lower feed-in premium, with lower price of the enumeration for the production of the electricity. Just for the sake of the discussion, we've put a project finance non-recourse financing scheme of 75 to 25 of equity and a 3% interest, which we think is achievable currently in the Greek market. And an O&M only for the preventive maintenance of 4 euro per megawatt per year, and the rest of OPEX is presented in the table. The results, not only for these projects, but in general for the PV projects, the medium and large-scale projects in Greece, is that someone should expect a project IR for 10.4 or even higher if he uses also other kind of technologies like bifacial or extensive usage of modules of trackers. So an IRR between 10 to 12 or even a little bit higher could be expected. Obviously, the equity IRR should be even higher. And you can see that we are operating in an EBITDA approximately around 85%. The payback period in this kind of project should be around 8 to 9 years, depending also on the operating expenses. Now, regarding the small wind farms, this portfolio consists of 36 wind parks. All of them are less than 3 megawatt each. It's 3 megawatt. The total capacity is 108 megawatt. We have a net capacity factor more than 26 megawatt, and obviously we have long-term measurements with the accompanied certifications that is necessary in order to be able to construct the projects according to the AEC standard. The type of the wind turbines is Nordex, which is not mandatory. One can change the type by using different model of wind turbine according to his decision and to the structure of the project. Again, we have spotted 4 locations, and we have clustered these small wind farms in 5 regions, all of them less than 5 hours away from Athens again. All of these projects are also close to existing medium voltage lines, and that is the reason that we do not calculate substation cost in this case. All of these projects have in place production license, meaning that we are in the phase of getting the environmental approval, and practically that means that less than a year these projects could be eligible to participate in upcoming auction. The construction period again was set in 18 months. For each project of 3 megawatt, the basic bottleneck is the delivery of the wind turbines, which is usually 6 to 7 months. For the rest of the construction, it should not take more than 2 months to construct either the grid or the foundation of the wind turbines. So, summarizing, this kind of project, this kind of small wind farms should be completed within the next 20 to 24 months from now. Regarding the financials, again, we were using the same approach as in EPV. We put the price of the basic component, meaning the wind turbine generators, and also the electromechanical and the civil works. We also have some development costs related to the payments to the grid administrators and to the preparatory works needed for the roads and the access onto the farms. For the financing scheme, again, we have used the project finance scheme with a 75 to 25 of equity and a FIP, as you can see, anticipated on the 57%. that might be a little bit lower depending on the timing that the auction will take place. In this kind of projects, in the wind in general, the OPEX is slightly more comparing with the PV, so the EBITDA is at the range of 73 to 75% of revenues. So you can see here the results. An IRR, which is a decent one, is approximately 7 to 8%. In our case, we have followed the conservative scenario of 7%, and the payback period of the equity is 6 years. The equity IRR is around 12.5. So thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you can see you soon in Greece for new renewable projects.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sophocles Pitarokilis. So let's now move to the fourth and final part of the forum, where we will try to answer some questions that may arise. We have some. What we promise is that if we cannot answer today, we will come back with a written answer from the responsible authority or person to our participants. Before that, let me tell you that we are very satisfied as the organizers of today's forum. The participants exceeded 300 participants, most of them from China, and we feel satisfied because that was the reason why we thought and we dreamed and organized this forum. So let me read some questions, and we can answer them all together. Anyone who has the answer can answer the question. Number one, this is for the Golden Visa. If people can open company independently for Golden Visa project, naturalization difficulties and language requirements do not appeal to real investors. Another one, does the Greek government think of developing industrial parks with Chinese companies? Many of our businesses can produce products directly in Greece. Another one, whether there are some flexible policies for Chinese central and national enterprises to develop Greece's land, industrial parks, real estate, the current Golden Visa project. Okay. So if there are certain policies for Chinese companies. Another one is we would like to export textile machinery and spare parts, towels, clothing, and other textile sales or OEM. What we should do? Another question, excuse me, about my voice now. Again, we heard about the advantages that Greece is offering to Chinese investors. I would like to know further details on that. Yes, how to get more information about renewable projects. And okay, let's take on that. I don't know, Mr. Stamu, I think a lot of those questions are for you.
Thank you. I will actually, some of them pertain to the ministry itself. What I could stay with, provide some answers on the ones pertaining to the special advantages for Chinese investors. The Golden Visa program was explained, and this regards the investment in real estate and also the investment in an actual project. There are different cases. And there's also the third case of investments in financial assets. In our website, we have full and complete guides where interested investors can find more information regarding that. Also, if they have more information, or if they need more information on that and they would like to ask something specific, they can direct an inquiry direct to our main email, which is printed there. It's info@enterprisegreeceeg.gov.gr, and we will answer to that. We will reply back with the answer. Regarding now the latest question about the renewables projects, the projects that I described, they're scalable projects, And in order to provide more information, we would like a company profile from the interested company to send us an email with their inquiry, and we will revert to that. This is the way we can go forward with something like that. I don't know if there are any other of the panel.
No, I think it's covered. Website is enterprisegreece.gr, correct?
Yes.
And Mrs. Kalianou, your website, the Hellenic, the fund is hradf.gr.
Right, hradf.com and gr. It works with com as well.
Okay. So I think here we come to the end of Invest in Greece Online Forum 20. No, not the end. I'm sorry. The speaker who's going to close the forum today, actually it's the end, is Mr. Hu Zhenwei, the Secretary General of CODA, who supported this project from the very, very beginning with Jesse Chang. So Mr. Zhenwei, the floor is yours actually to close this forum today. Yes.
好的，谢谢乔治先生。我们今天利用了3个小时，我们先后呢，听了12位贵宾的演讲，其中也包括4个投资项目的推介，还回答了我们听众感兴趣的话题。在我们12位贵宾演讲中，我们荣幸的听到了来自希腊发展和投资部的部长，以及我们中国国家发改委外资司的司长，代表中西两国政府主管经济的机构分别致辞。我们很高兴听到两国政府主管经济的部门的领导态度非常的明确，均表示支持中西两国经贸与投资的合作。特别是刘司长在致辞中还谈到了3点建议，希望能够进一步加强发挥中西两国已有的投资的这个合作的机制，发挥这个机制的作用，并且也对双方领导也对本次论坛给予了高度的认可。我相信这场论坛还会在中西两国政府的支持下继续的办下去，办好。另外，我们也非常荣幸的听到了2位大使的致辞。我们的大使都是代表各自的国家，2位大使都表达了支持中西两国合作的良好的愿望。特别是张大使谈到了一个非常好的一个信息，一个数字，1季度希腊向中国出口增长了30%，这在疫情极其严重的情况下能够实现希腊向中国出口增长30%是来之不易的，是非常的难的。特别是张大使还谈到了希腊的猪肉在1季度向中国出口占了整个出口的54%，那么1季度猪肉的出口的增长76%，这个数字是非常的大的。我想这个数字对于中国对希腊的投资提振了信心。那么我们也高兴的看到我们这次会议恰逢中西两国正式建交48周年的前一天，对吧？明天就是中西两国建交48周年。张大使特别谈到了在中西两国建交48年之前举办这样的活动，对于推动和促进中国和希腊两国开展经贸与投资的合作会起到很大的推动和促进作用。另外，我们在12位的贵宾演讲中也非常的高兴的听到了来自于希腊投资促进局的官员就希腊整体的投资环境以及在基础设施和清洁能源方面的投资的一个整体的介绍，使我们中国的企业对于希腊的投资的环境以及希腊的整体的投资的政策都有了一个非常更好的深入的了解。我相信我们中方的参会的企业 个希腊的投资兴趣会进一步的增加。第4个方面，我们也是听了关于刚才我们希腊的4个投资项目的介绍。我相信呢，这些项目的介绍我刚才也是认真的听了，非常的好。我们的企业也一直在问问题，也希望我们之后呢，能够把我们的具体的项目信息能够再进一步 PPT 能够提供给中方，然后我们会在我们的网站上进一步的发布。我相信会有更多的人会很好的感兴趣。这是我要总结的第1大点。那么我们第2大点呢，我想特别说一下，我们这次活动是在我们整个疫情还没有彻底结束的情况下召开的，也是我们一次尝试。这次疫情得到了中方代表的积极的踊跃的参加。我们接到的报名的代表，正式代表是343位，343位中方的代表正式报名参会。这个我们中方组织代表里边来自12个国家，也包括我们中国的25个省市自治区的代表参会。这个参会代表里边既包括政府机构的官员，像我们地方发改委，也包括来自金融机构，还有企业以及第3方服务机构的代表组成。其中像金融机构，我们中国最有名的来自于中国的国家开发银行，还有中国的工商银行、中国银行的代表，都参加了这次我们的会议。另外，我们地方的发改委，你像我们来自于吉林省的发改委，还有山西省的发改委，还有我们辽宁省，还有沈阳市发改委、济南市发改委，等等，都组织了当地的企业一起来参加这次会议。另外，我们的中方的企业更是非常的踊跃。我们的中方的企业代表既包括大型的央企，也包括地方的国有企业，也包括我们很多民营企业。比如说，我们中国航天科工集团就组织了20多人一起来参会。所以我们在主持人你在看下边的那个显示的这个数字里边，要加上我们很多地方来组织在一起，比如说可能有50个人，像他们我们的沈阳就可能组织50人一起来参会。这个呢是没有在我们的参会的那个参会者体现出来的。但是呢，这里边我想说，中方的企业代表是非常的这个踊跃的。再比如说，像来自于中国的中铁、中国铁路总公司，还有我们的葛洲坝集团、三峡集团、国家电网公司、CMEC、中交建、中国能源建设、中广核、中铁建、中国海洋航空集团、北京市燃气集团等等。时间的关系，我不可能完全在这里边都介绍，但是这些企业都是对希腊投资感兴趣的企业，他们今天特意来在线上呢，通过这样论坛来了解希腊，来进一步的增强对希腊投资的信心。还有我们这次参加活动呢，我们得到了媒体的广泛的参与。我们有先后来自于35家国内外的媒体来参会，这个不仅仅是中国的媒体，我们还有来自包括国外的媒体，像来自于俄罗斯的媒体，还有来自于我们日本的媒体等等。这些这个参会的这个媒体的话，也对我们这次中西这个中国和希腊的这个投资论坛表示出了一个浓厚的兴趣。我们刚才我介绍了我们参加这个参会代表，不仅仅是来自中国，还来自于希腊我们的阿联酋、爱沙尼亚、日本、俄罗斯、芬兰、葡萄牙、澳大利亚，还有德国、拉脱维亚、波兰等等。那么就说明我们这次中国和希腊之间举办的活动也得到了国际的广泛的关注。我相信这个影响力还是非常的大的。我要总结的第3个方面，最后的一方面，就是说我们这次会议召开这个我想是说，在一个非常困难的时期，但是我们会看到困难中也孕育着很多的机会，很多的希望。我在这里也利用这机会给大家发布一个我们刚刚收到的中国的商务部公布的一个最新的对外投资的统计数据。我们中国1至4月份，也就前4个月， 中国的境内投资者共对全球155个国家进行了非金融类的直接投资，投资额达到了335亿美元，同比增长0.7%。大家会知道，我们在前4个月正是我们的疫情最严重的时期，在这样的一个大背景之下，中国对外投资还能够实现正增长0.7%，可以讲是来之非常不易的。特别是1到4月份，中国企业在“一带一路”沿线共对53个国家进行了非金融投资，投资额为52.3亿美元，同比增长了13.4%。这个增长也是比例非常大的，是对“一带一路”沿线国家。我们也知道，希腊也是“一带一路”沿线重点的国家。我相信我们中国的企业通过今天投资希腊这一个线上论坛，会对希腊的投资会更加的感兴趣，也会更进一步的推动中希两国在投资领域的合作。那么，在中国和全球都遭受疫情严重影响的情况下，我们中国对外投资还出现了这样的一个成果，可以说确实的来之不易。正如习近平主席讲到的，我们要在危机中孕育新机遇，于变局中开新局。对于乐观的人来说的话，再大的困境也能找到出路；对于悲观者来说，再小的困难也会怨声载道，六神无主。所以，我们希望我们中国和希腊两国的人民都能做乐观之人，一起乐观面对当前的困境，携手合作，共度难关。最后，我要再一次感谢我们的合作伙伴，希腊“一带一路”协会的会长乔治先生和中国走出去网站的创始人张晨曦先生。特别是乔治先生，我知道您已经有10来天没有好好睡觉了，你差不多10天，每天只睡2、3个小时，组织这样一次活动是非常不容易的。所以说，我相信今天晚上你可以睡一个好觉。我们今天举办的活动是我们中西两国在线上举办的第一次的这样的一个投资活动，也是一个新的开始。我相信这不是最后一次，今后我们还会举办更多这样的活动。最后，我还要感谢今天参会的所有的嘉宾，特别是我们中方的企业和我们地方的发改委，感谢大家对我们海外协会一如既往的支持，你们都是最棒的，谢谢大家，我们还会再相会，在网上再相会。谢谢乔治，我把话筒交给您。
Thank you very much, Mr. Hussein Bey, Secretary General of CODA. Here we come to the end of Invest in Greece Online Forum 2020. We would like to thank you for your participation. We would like to thank in particular the presenters who honored us with their presence and supported the success of today's forum. I would like to thank especially Emily and Sari from CODA and Cindy from China Go Abroad, and of course Mr. He for his support all those weeks that we prepared this forum. Dear friends in China, we remind you that Greece is open for business and we're waiting for you, the Minister, Enterprise Greece, the Hellenic Republic Asset Development Fund, the Regulatory Authority of Energy, the professionals, everybody's waiting here for you to support you because Greece and China are very close and should be very close. Thank you very much. We hope to see you again. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you all.
再见。
Bye-bye, Mr. He. Bye, Emily.
Bye.